Welcome back, Overwatch fans, to another amazing night.
We have a fantastic match tonight, no question about it.
Oh my god, yes!
With the barrage! Make sure they can't even follow up afterwards.
And Watchers down 2 in this fight thus far. Make that 3, make that 4 right now here. Dynamic team gets a 4-man tire!
Those who find the picks will save the fights, and they don't really need to save what they've already won.
100 gets 3 with the rival rage!
Experience tranquility.
17 weeks ago, we started Season 9 of the Tranquility Gaming North American Discord tier with our preseason finals featuring 2 strong teams facing off. Now, after several months of play and countless games played, we've trimmed 24 teams down to 2, and in a very strange coincidence, it's the same 2 teams we started the season with that will be ending it tonight. It's a pleasure to have you all here tonight. My name is Bowsy, and I'm joined here by Door as we bring you the Discord tier Grand Finals match between Reminiscence and MI7. And Door, we've got an exciting finals ahead of us tonight.
Hey, I always managed to find my way back for one cast right at the end of the year. It's starting to feel like a bit of a tradition at this point for me. In a scuff setup, I'm at my parents' house. I'm in my younger sister's room, who is still working on graduating high school. This is wild. So I'm excited to be here. I'm on like the most scuff setup imaginable, but the Overwatch is going to be just as good as it's always been over here at Trank. It's always a pleasure. The teams are always hyper competitive, especially for their start. I'm always impressed. Coming from casting contenders, it's not even like jarring seeing this level of coordination we get out of them, especially the top teams at the end of the season. It is really something to marvel at, and I can't wait to see what these 2 teams have to offer up.
Yeah, absolutely. Both of these teams have had really strong performance all season. Both of them very good seasons. Reminiscence went 7-1. MI7 6-2 in the regular season. Reminiscence's only loss, however, was in Week 3 to MI7. So that's the most impactful thing that we have to look at in this match. Reminiscence did beat MI7 in the preseason championships, but did not win in the regular season against them. So it's going to be a determinant of who wins this match to settle this rivalry once and for all this season. It's going to be one heck of a match to watch, and it starts with our first map coming up, which is going to be Ilios, chosen by Reminiscence. Oasis, excuse me, not Ilios, Oasis.
No worries. Alright, so Oasis starting things off. First off, before we get into Oasis and what it means for us compositionally, I want you to run me through these rosters. Run me through these teams. Who am I looking for here, Bowser?
Well, there's definitely a lot of players that you have to look for. Reminiscence got a lot of the remaining players from the Season 7 roster that won the championship back in the Discord tier. Glitch, Blood Hungry, Seraph, a lot of players from that championship roster here, in addition to Choi Soo-hwan, who has been a really good off-tank pickup for this team, as well as Reborn, who came over from the Marsupial org, has always been a star-studded player over on Reminiscence this season as well. Really, a really strong roster that Reminiscence has coming to the table, and a championship caliber roster. MI7, on the other hand, they have a lot of great pieces as well. The biggest standout on the roster, however, has been Lore, a huge hit scan potential player coming over from the Transcendence tier last season. He has been an absolute freak of nature for MI7 this season, won the Best Hit Scan Award for the End of Season Awards, and by far is one of the favorites to be able to claim the title here for MI7. So it's going to be a determinant on how MI7 are going to be able to work around Lore, and how Reminiscence are going to try and take advantage of MI7's mistakes to get themselves in the championship hole.
I think that puts us in an interesting position, right? I think it makes us fairly map dependent. Given that you have such a strong hit scan player, you want to enable that with picks like Circuit Royale, like Junkertown. I'm not sure what the map pool looks like right now, but having that opportunity is going to be massive for them, which also puts more and more pressure on the first map of Oasis. When you come into these map kind of based series like we often have in contenders, especially this most recent meta where Hog, Sigma, Monkey were all being played, you kind of have a team specializing a little bit more, and clearly there's some specialization towards Lore and that hit scan for MI7. Winning that first map and kind of getting the head start on that back and forth map pick is super duper important.
Absolutely, as we're going to be heading into our first map again, the first map chosen, Oasis. We'll be heading into there very soon here to see what these two teams are going to be able to throw out and what the result is going to be of this matchup. It's worth noting our other finals have not reached past a map number 6. Our Transcendence tier finals was a 4-1, and our Harmony tier NA finals were a 4-2 in favor of the winning team there.
Oh, Bowsy, you doubt me. Every finals I have been at Tranquility 4 has been an absolute slog. I'm yet to witness one, I think, go less than 6 maps, and close 6 maps at that. And believe me, I've cast my fair share of Trank finals one way or another. I've got a knack for pulling bangers out of a hat, and I get a strong feeling that this one's going to be no different.
Yeah, it will definitely be interesting to see if we get a banger of the match here as we see the two teams right now in their spawn rooms with the composition we see, Door. We're seeing two different compositions from two different sides.
Immediately, Reminiscence coming out with something more of a rush, trying to play almost 6-man. I mean, it is virtually 6-man, right? Minus that Diva that normally came along with it. They really want to get that dive, and I think a Reaper swap likely to come out from Anguish. It's going to be a pretty significant threat towards the backline of MI7. Oh no, a little swap over here. We're bringing the Hog out. Oh no, this is awful for Reminiscence now.
Yeah, Reminiscence coming out here on the Roadhog with Choi Soo-hwan. Choi Soo-hwan's Hog has been a freak of nature in some instances, so we'll see if it works here in favor as Reminiscence start making their way to the point. MI7 taking that high ground here with Sam's Orisa, just looking for the first pick potential here. Reminiscence trying to make their way up to the staircase. Both Disruptor Fields used. Of course, that Disruptor Field doesn't slow down anymore, but now it's Sam dropping right onto the point, meeting face-to-face here with the Roadhog of Choi Soo-hwan. Forced to use that Javelin spin, but isn't able to get anything with it, and now picks are exchanged. Reborn and Lore back to the grave. Anguish able to get the kill on the Rocket here, so now it's a 2-man disadvantage for MI7. Make that 3, and Reminiscence looking in good shape here to cap the point first.
Anguish on a bit of a tear. I'd love to see Sam really get in the face of Choi Soo-hwan and use that big spear to deny the take a breather, but that's an issue for next fight now coming in. There's a pretty significant advantage here of the DPS of Reminiscence who have built up a fair amount of charge. MI7 going to make a couple swaps here, go over to the Reaper to help counter that Hog, but the Orisa's already out. The main counter for the Hog is on the field. It's just a matter of execution.
Yeah, absolutely. Orisa is a natural counter to Roadhog in the current meta, so you have to be able to execute here if you are MS7 as they try to push through the main. They do not have the Protected Suzu here from Rocket as it was already used to save the life of one of their fellow teammates, but MI7 still looking for that pick potential. Ascend on this Reaper, obviously switching off it from the Tracer, looking for some more damage, but doesn't find the Roadhog. Finds the opposing Reaper instead. Now the Kitsune Rush comes out here from Try, and now the rest of Reminiscence pushing right into the face of MI7, and they already found 3 picks. It's another fight win for Reminiscence.
And off the back of only one ultimate. That's about as efficient as a Kitsune Rush gets. MI7 were looking to disengage it, but it's a lot easier said than done, even for contender teams.
Yeah, absolutely. And now MI7, they're going to be coming into this fight with a few ultimates. What is the plan of attack here for MI7 as they start making their way through the main again?
You love to contest that high ground and really start to rain fire in from above with Lore and Rocket and the Orisa, but Reminiscence having so many ultimates is difficult, right? That Sound Barrier from Glitch can very well buy their way back into a fight. They're going to use it aggressively to engage with the Death Boss, and the combo works beautifully and upsets any bit of progress MI7 we're going to make with the Kitsune Rush.
Yeah, definitely a very swift fight there for Reminiscence, and now 75% here, Door. Looking rough here for MI7.
They do have the Sound Barrier advantage here. Fungin just needs to time it well. I'm not sure how I feel about a Sound Barrier engage, but if we can get a big save, a big fight extension out of it is huge.
Yeah, Laura tries to go on that flank, almost gets the kill on the try there. That could have been massive. Now Choi Soo-hwan finds the hook on Fungin, I believe. Forces out the beat out of that Lucio here as Ascend also uses the Death Blossom, but is unable to get anything with it. Choi Soo-hwan's whole Hog is able to find Sam now, and now Anguish is able to get the kill here onto Ascend. So Reminiscence looking at the strong start right now. Rocket does get the kill onto Ascend, but now Reborn pops the overclock, gets the kill onto Fungin. Rocket still finding kills in the kill feed, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough as they have to Swift Strike out. Sam is going to be able to come back here on the Doomfist, trying to contest this Roadhog of Choi Soo-hwan, but it's so much damage being pumped into that Doomfist. Tries Kitsune Rush is also there to help quicken the blows, and Reminiscence looking in a very strong position. They're going to take first point, 100-0.
Yeah, 99-0 is a little stark, but look, there's a reason why Contenders players call this a Mickey Mouse map type, right? You get that first fight win, and you can kind of steamroll from there. Reminiscence used one ultimate to win that second fight, and the second they did that, it was just too efficient. MI7 never even got the opportunity to catch back up. The one fight in which they may have stood a chance, that Sound Barrier Death Blossom combo that Reminiscence came out with, just completely shut it down.
Yeah, absolutely. So now I'm heading over to Oasis University now. It's going to be interesting to see what the response is going to be from MI7. Right now, they look like they're going to be running the exact same thing that we saw them on last time. Reminiscence just showing the symmetry here, probably just to teleport out of the spawn room, and that's exactly what we're going to see Anguish do here. Teleport the rest of the members of Reminiscence out and switch over to the Junkrat here for the increased amount of damage. So we'll see which move is going to be here. MI7 head to the point at the same time as Reminiscence. Choi Soo-hwan already getting a lot of damage pumped into his fat Roadhog's body and gets canceled out of a take a breather there by that javelin from Sam. MI7 got the point for now, but that hook from Choi Soo-hwan finds the kill onto Ascend as Lore gets the railgun shot onto Anguish, so it's an even blow here. MI7 currently have control of the point as now the control starts. Reminiscence now step on the point, get the progress for themselves, and Sam finds the kill on the Reborn. Looks like MI7 is in a good place to be able to take this for their own.
No, they gotta be careful. If Sam goes down here, it's bad news bears for this team. The Orisa falls, and all of a sudden, it's blue members regrouping on the point. The cavalry have arrived for Reminiscence, and I don't see a way back into this. That hook from Choi Soo-hwan and the inability to kill him, because that Reaper died so early, has completely bit MI7 in the butt.
Yeah, absolutely, and try getting those final kills as well means that Reminiscence are going to be able to cap the point for themselves. MI7, really good start to that, but just couldn't activate anything when it came to the time that they needed to.
And look at the Kitsune Rush try, right? It's already up so early off the back of that first fight, healing up that Roadhog. They're going to immediately pop in with the whole hog. It's a guaranteed win.
Yeah, absolutely. As Reminiscence now preparing for the attack coming out from MI7. Sam does have this Terror Surge, but already Choi Soo-hwan finds an impactful pick onto Ascend. Here comes that Kitsune Rush whole hog, as you mentioned, and Choi Soo-hwan just burning everybody to the ground. Reminiscence pushing toward the spawn doors. They want to touch those spawn doors. Nope, they're going to back up right as they get to them, but MI7 still having to reset again.
Yeah, Reminiscence, their neutral fight has been solid, but when they have ultimates in hand, their ability to combo them and understand what the other team has just been phenomenal, right? The fact that I can just completely predict things like being able to use that Kitsune Rush whole hog and expecting them to only use those ultimates and no more is impressive. Now coming to this one, though, it's going to be Kitsune Rush for MI7. There's a sound barrier for Glitch, though, to re-engage.
Yeah, absolutely, that sound barrier from Glitch helping Reminiscence stabilize through that Kitsune Rush, but here comes the Terror Surge coming out from Sam. It doesn't kill anybody, but does a lot of damage into Choi Soo-hwan and Glitch. No kills resulting, though. MI7, however, they are able to take the point off of that, and that railgun shot from Lore onto Anguish is going to spell the end of Reminiscence. It's told they'll have to retreat.
So next fight, now we've got DPS ultimates up, which can be kind of a fight in flux, one that relies on a lot of skill, but past that, Reminiscence are just ahead in loyalty practically every single way. So this fight, definitely going to be a skill matchup, but players on point for Ascend and Lore, they have the sidelines to work with, and immediately this overclock is going to put a lot of pressure on Reminiscence.
Absolutely, Lore trying to get the picks there, but it forces Reminiscence in the small room, and Ascend pops the Death Blossom, able to get the kill onto Glitch there, but nothing else. Those Kitsune Rush is used here by Try, and Anguish tries to get more with their own Death Blossom, but gets shut out by Lore. It's another hold here by MI7, and Reminiscence might have been a little overinvestment there, Door.
Yeah, so for a lot of teams that first Kitsune Rush that Try built up and the lead that Try had an ultimate charge would be enough to see them through this, but because they got shut down behind that, because that Death Blossom was so good, all of a sudden, now with MI7, with the ultimate's advantage, if they can continue to roll this, they should be looking at a map.
Yeah, Bullhog coming out here from Choi Soo-hwan, just trying to knock back members of MI7, but Lore already finds the kill here onto Reborn, so already eliminates one of the major damage threats. Now here comes the Kitsune Rush and the Terror Surge from Sam and Rocket, and there's both of Choi Soo-hwan. Goodbye, says Sam. Choi Soo-hwan goes for a dip, and MI7 continue the hold.
Is it a dip? Is there water down there? Or is it
I believe there is water down there.
Yeah, H2O. I'm lucky.
Yeah, like that.
I will say, Sam Spears have been connecting, but I'd like to see them connect during the take a breather, saving that cooldown to shut down the Hog's ability to cancel damage. It is massive, and Sam's kind of missing out on that one little bit of the kit, still getting plenty of value out of this Orisa that is such a hard direct counter to the Hog.
Absolutely, Reminiscence start pushing in with that fleet coming out from Glitch. They're going to be able to step on the point here, but Sam already eliminates Choi Soo-hwan again. Sam on this Orisa has just been a force of nature, eliminating everything in its path. Make sure the horses recognize as they are just going to be wiping the field. And MI7, they rebound after a bad showing on Gardens and take the second point. We're going to a third point on Oasis.
I mean, MI7 has simply stampeded onto this point behind the Orisa, and it does come a lot down to that first fight, right? Because they were able to continue to roll the pressure onto Reminiscence, it became a lot harder for Reminiscence to get back into that. There was certainly a portion, though, for Reminiscence. They had that Kitsune rush that should have found them a fight win, but the inability to follow up on such a slight mistake opened the door for that Death Blossom to really flip everything on its head and make sure that MI7 maintained pressure, maintained an ultimate economy advantage, that they rolled into a map win. Now, coming into a number 3, I think it's close either way. Sam's been kind of having Choi Soo-kwon in his pocket when it comes to shutting down that hog with the Orisa, but with a more open map, it becomes a little bit more difficult to do that, right? Glitch can speed Choi Soo-kwon around. You'll find that hog on your flank on different sides of the point, and the Orisa being able to track him from side to side of the point is pretty difficult here. So I think the barriers may have been opened up a little bit, and this hog can breathe a little bit more.
Absolutely. As now the two teams meeting right by the car side here on Oasis City Center, where the map will be decided. A lot of damage pumped into the members of Reminiscence. Choi Soo-won gets a good hook onto Ascend, but isn't able to finish it off. But Reborn finds a big pick onto Funge, and the speed boost now gone for MI7 means that they're going to have trouble trying to engage and disengage here as MI7 or Sam has their gun get a little overheated, trying to regulate that overheating. But now Reminiscence, they got that first pick. They're going to get first cap.
But it's hardly a fight over. It looks like MI7 are just about ready to push them off this point. They just can't find that killing blow. Choi Soo-kwon will have take a breather here in the next couple seconds. Should be able to survive for that. Takes a breather. Now with that cooldown out, it should be Reminiscence on the back foot, but you can see what I'm talking about. MI7 having to chase the hog around the point. Not always being able to find him. The second that hog gets connected, look, Choi Soo-kwon can look for a flank hook. Actually doesn't. Puts it on the Orisa. Now the whole hog actually is what looks to end the fight. Good little Suzu, though. They've mitigated nearly the entire whole hog. Keyword nearly there, though. If Sam falls 30%, crushes over the point now, and Reminiscence not only are winning the fight, but making a percentage all the meanwhile.
And they're also forcing out the ult from MI7, the Terra Surge, the Overclock, the Death Blossom, all were used by MI7. Door, that was a disastrous fight for MI7.
Yeah, it's about as bad as it gets. They had opportunities to step in there, but again, that large point really plays well into the composition of Reminiscence. You want to get back into this, though. You have a Kitsune rush advantage. This should be it for MI7. They should be able to win this. There's no more ultimates on the field other than their own sound barrier. But if you miss this fight, it's bad news bears.
It definitely is bad news bears as MI7 engaged with that Kitsune rush from Rocket. Sam looking for a lot of damage into Choi Soo-won. The focus is that Roadhog. Anguish and Ascend having a Reaper duel. It's Ascend coming out almost on top, but Choi Soo-won comes in to save the day. Lore, however, finds the kill here onto Reborn here, so now it's an even trade here for both sides. Reminiscence trying to stabilize, and they will be able to find that kill onto Fungin. And now MI7, not 79% for Reminiscence. They have to either commit to this fight all the way or back out. With Lore dying, they really have to back out.
Yeah, no, you get out, you try and force one thing, but that Orisa is, use both cooldowns. I don't think he's gonna get away here. Rocket's dead, Fungin can try and speed out. Yeah, that Orisa, forced in the dirt, turned into glue. There's nothing between them and a map number 1 win, a Stark one at that, especially the map where that Roadhog started to feel more and more comfortable. They've just looked phenomenal. The Death Blossom their cap things off, puts the punctuation on it, but it's Reminiscence going up 1-0 in the finals.
Yeah, it looks like Reminiscence are going to be able to go up 1-0 here. Fungin able to stall it out for a little bit, but nobody else from the side of MI7 is there to touch. And Reminiscence are going to start off strong, taking the first map in this series. But it was a very close affair, albeit MI7. They just need to get their composure together because that last point did not look clean at all.
Struggle, right? Especially after that first fight. They committed heavily after they already lost control of the point. And when those fights last so long, it's a difficulty, right? You've got to be able to finish off those health bars quick, but it's not easy on such a large point. Roadhog sped around. And I do think a large point of contention in this matchup is going to be the ability to connect spears while that Roadhog is trying to take a breather. Sam was kind of struggling to do so, but if that hog continues to come out, I think it's an adaptation that's pretty easy for them to make go attack.
Yeah, definitely. There is a good adaptation that you can make. MI7, we've seen what it looks like when they're able to find success. We saw it there on Oasis University with this Orisa coming out from Sam, just basically stomping across the entirety of Reminiscence. But outside of Oasis University, it just was difficult for MI7 to find the success that they found to be able to get that first point. So it's going to be interesting to see what the adaptations are going to look like from MI7 and how Reminiscence is going to adapt to those adaptations. What they're going to be able to do. It's now, MI7, they do get map choice again for the first time because they did lose that first map, and they have chosen to bring us to Midtown here for our hybrid map. So it's going to be interesting to see what this map is going to allow for the side of MI7 and how they're going to be able to use it to their advantage against Reminiscence.
I mean, I think it's a curious adaptation you forced me to make here, because I've had to change into a suit because I didn't realize that was the meta today. And I've had to do this mid-first map of this broadcast, and I think that's mildly shameful of you, Bazzy. But mildly shameful would also be if this thing ended in just 4 maps. So, let's talk about map number 2 and how much we want MI7 to try and equalize this thing. Midtown, not a bad shout. We talked about picking maps that enable hit scan so that lore can really find as much value as they want them to. And I think that this is a pretty solid shot, especially that first point offers a lot of opportunities for hit scan to really take hold.
Absolutely. So we'll see what the move is here from MI7. Obviously, you just mentioned the word hit scan, and I mentioned at the start of this broadcast lore being a hit scan legend right now for the side of MI7. It's definitely going to be a challenge living up to Anguish and Reborn over on the side of Reminiscence, and we'll have to see if Lore is able to keep up pace and be able to help MI7 get there. There is going to be some changes coming in here. MI7 is going to be subbing in Manny for Ascend here for this next map, so obviously want to try to go for a different sort of DPS composition there. So we'll see what the move is here from MI7, how they're going to be able to make it work into their advantage, and what the look is going to be like for Rem heading into this next map, and how Rem is going to be able to try and take another map in this series.
I'm going to call my shot. I think a Hanzo's coming out. I don't know anything about this team or these hit scan players, but I smell a Hanzo in the midst, right? For Midtown especially, it feels like another one of those maps where you just can guarantee a lot of value out of Hanzo. I think contenders and Collegiate have had some dippings of Hanzo here and there, but for me, especially once you go down outside of like a super professional, organized way of play, Hanzo finds so much guaranteed value in the shield break and the pick potential, and if you have one hit scan player plus somebody who can lock that in on Midtown especially, that's a really dangerous threat, especially to somebody like Lore who's just trying to be able to peek corners and find shots and be that carry that the team needs. That's a great opportunity to try and shut it down.
Absolutely, and we also have a sub coming in here for the Reminiscence. Blood Hungry is coming in for Choi on that tank roll. Blood Hungry, for those who know Tranquility, will know Blood Hungry well enough. I know Blood Hungry well enough. He's in our intro. That tells you how iconic Blood Hungry is as a player in Tranquility. A really good main tank player. We'll see if they're able to step up to the same level that Choi Soo-hwan stepped up to on Oasis, as we're going to be heading into Midtown very shortly here to see who's going to be taking our second map in this series. It's definitely going to be an interesting one, Dor. We'll have to see what both of these teams are running out here on Midtown.
I mean, I kind of expect more of the same. Both comps, in theory, should work pretty well here. I see no reason for Sam to stop doing what they're doing, unless they wanted to lock in something like a Sigma, which is a pretty powerful pick here. I don't... correct me if I'm wrong, Trank isn't running Ramacha right now, so that's not an opportunity that's available to them.
I mean,
I don't expect much. Yeah. Blood Hungry, even Blood Hungry, despite being the swap in for the tank, is staying on the Hog.
I mean, it makes sense. Hog is a really blood-hungry tank right now. It gets a lot of damage done. Sure. A lot of, like, way too much damage, I would say, for a tank. It's probably the only tank that can one-shot regardless of which. We'll have to see how Reminiscence are going to adapt here with that tank change. MI7, we do see that the comp that they're running right now in the attack room has Laura on the Widowmaker. Okay, thank you, Laura. Switching over to a Sojourn, that makes a lot more sense.
Play the Widow, coward. Play the Widow, coward.
I mean, it's possible, but we also see the symmetric TP. Wait, hold on, Dor. Look at where the Orisa went. Through the alleyways. Not in the main way, so that means that Reminiscence are probably setting them... Or, not Reminiscence. MI7 are trying to set themselves up in a way so they can try to push through a different angle, and you can see here Music Addict on that Tracer, which is Manny, switching over to the Tracer here to try and go for that backline, but already Reborn has found the kill here onto Rocket here, as it's not looking good for MI7. They already have to back up, and they're already losing people at the brim.
Yeah, I was talking about looking for picks in that initial choke point. While the swap has not merited itself a Hanzo, it is still a pick opportunity with Reborn on the Sojourn. Blood Hungry doing the same thing, but MI7, you brought up the pathing. I think it's important, the pathing that you use against a Roadhog. You can kind of increase the distance by playing here on the left side of the choke, and I'm curious to see if they do exactly that. Yeah, they will. Try and stay away from that Hog as long as you can. Make sure your Orisa is between him and the rest of your team. That's exactly why. Now Blood Hungry push back, MI7 can begin to start moving forward.
Absolutely, and they already found another big pick to start them in that push. Laura finds the kill on the Reborn, but Blood Hungry does get the tank win here, so Reminiscence in the advantage in there, but now they're down both of their DPS. But Try, is a DPS of his own, able to get that headshot kill onto Music Addicts there. So Reminiscence now in the advantage a little bit here, as right now MI7 are just looking for scraps and trying to find their way in. Rocket will be able to get the kill on a Try here, so it definitely is looking more possible for MI7 now that Reminiscence are down to support, but they still have to try to make their way onto the point.
Yeah, this is difficult, but the spawns being so far back for Reminiscence mean that MI7 should just, off the back of picks, 1-for-1, they're just better for the attacking side in these situations. Sound barrier by Glitch! Look,
okay.
That was mild injury going on, not gonna lie. That is a very important ultimate that they wish they had, but it's okay. That's no problem. I see why they want to recontest that point, and if they did get a foothold in there, it would have been really powerful. That being said, a great push by MI7. Laura and Rocket finding some huge picks in order to enable it is massive. I do see a bit of a problem, though, starting to rear its ugly head, is that they're having a hard time peeling for Sam. Sam is great into the Roadhog, but when you add that Reaper in, keeping the Reaper and the Roadhog off largely actually falls on the Lucio, and timing boots correctly to keep them both back, and that's something that I want to look for Fungin to do in the future.
Sam uses the Terror Surge, lands it right into that small room where Glitch unfortunately met the hands of the Javelin. So MI7 able to get that big pick there, but now the Casino Rush forced out by Try in the small little highway, gets the beat out of Fungin here. So MI7, they are, however, still pushing that card down into the Midtown Tunnel here. So that card still moving means that Reminiscence not doing a great job of holding it, and MI7 are just going to cleanly push that card forward.
Think about it, right? MI7 were able to use that beat practically uncontested because of the one that Glitch used earlier on, right? So Reminiscence right now are paying the price for that singular ultimate usage, having to give up all this cart space. Now the re-engage, though, is what we're really looking at.
Absolutely, and here comes the re-engage from Reminiscence. The Blossom is there from Anguish, forces out the protection Suzu, but Reborn falls in the hands of Lore's Overclock. However, Reminiscence finding the kills. Anguish, Blood Hungry, Try lighting up the kill feed here, finding 3 members of MI7, and it's going to be a retreat here for MI7. Reminiscence get a hold on that fire truck right outside of the Midtown Tunnel.
I mean, Lore is trying, but they've got to wipe 5 if they want to win this fight. The card-on-cart fight has been very difficult for them. Now coming into this next round of ultimates, though, we're really looking at Glitch's Sound Barrier, right? Because they used it first, they do get it up first here. If they can use it to net themselves a guaranteed fight win, or cancel out 2 ultimates from MI7, you're going to be pretty happy. MI7, though, want this high ground. They brought a Junkrat to act as an extra damage threat towards that Roadhog. Roadhog is going to be pretty casually disengaged, so not too much problem there. Now MI7 definitely want to move forward, though. We've seen that Terror Surge used to great effect, and, I mean, it won't be for now, especially with Sam going down. If they're willing to play a pick game for a little bit. I don't think it was particularly wise from MI7 to try and wait for picks against a Roadhog.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely difficult, and especially when the Roadhog can just do that. Fungin unfortunately learns that the hard way, and Reminiscence continuing to get this hold here on top of the Midtown Tunnel. The truck starts backing up through the tunnel, now is at the absolute bottom of the tunnel. It's going to be difficult for MI7 here, Jordan, but there is possibility, especially with the ults they have.
So you're telling me there's a chance, right?
There is a chance, my friend.
All right. Let's
not anymore.
That's actually, no, that's good. I'll take that trade. That's good. Now you got this tire. All you gotta do is just find 1, maybe 2 more into the back line. Come on, what do we got? We got
one.
Piece? No, it's 1 onto Glitch. You're happy with it. You've got to make your way in, though, and take down this Roadhog. Blood Hungry managed to get another take a breather off. This fight is as good as over. Susan's going to get about 2 seconds closer to doing exactly that. The Roadhog at critical HP just backs away. Breather there, restabilized. Sam now going to be a bit slower to this fight. The Roadhog gets about 2 seconds here to look for a hook. The hook misses. They'll go back in, though, with the reduced cooldown from a Kitsune Rush and try and find a body of MI7. Unable to do so. All they find is just a trap. Blood Hungry's actually the one eating dirt right about now. Can MI7 actually find a way back in, though? It seems almost impossible for them. They can't get a foothold. They try the high ground at best. They'll take down Reborn for it. But as they pull themselves back into the fray, the ever more difficult, finally, with the Terror Surge of Sam slamming them to the ground. Lore is able to finish off a couple of the health bars. It is far from over, though. The Roadhog, the Reaper, still alive, still threats to this team, still holding up the cart. We've got 52 seconds left on this clock, Bowsy, and it has not made enough progress.
Yeah, it's an absolute slugfest right now. MI7 still looking to try to push that card forward, and Reminiscence is just coming back in one by one. Blood Hungry has yet to die on this entire defense, I'm pretty sure, for the majority of the time, and Reminiscence are profiting off of that. MI7 now stuck at 30 seconds as now Anguish with the Death Blossom tries to drop in and get any sort of interrupted kills. Will get the kill on a Fungin, but will sacrifice his life for it, getting killed out by Lord's overclock here. Music Addict also gets the kill here on the try, so MI7 definitely not out of it yet. Sam able to finish off Glitch as well, means there's going to be an advantage here for MI7. It looks like finally MI7 are going to be able to find those kills and get that second point for their own.
And honestly, one of the big things there, just being the Suzu from Rocket. I mean, it was such a good Death Blossom coming out from Anguish, but it's one of the big things we kind of expect when I'm casting higher level contenders games, right? Those Suzus up against Death Blossom have got to be perfect. Rocket did that. Fungin hit the boot to knock Anguish away and shut down an ultimate that otherwise could have ended the fight on its own, buying them time for Laura to come in with that damage from Music Addict and find the kills. Now pushing into point C. We've got a time bank. Not a great one, but a time bank. Nevertheless, it's going to be chipped away at even more as Music Addicts go down. But finding their way through this is not going to be easy, especially with Reminiscence having an advantage in those support ultimate charges.
Yeah, definitely. Reminiscence is going to be popping the whole hug here from Blood Hungry just to separate the members of MI7. Maybe forcing back that Lucio Fungin, tries to find the hook on the lure and misses here. That could have been a crucial hook as now Blood Hungry starting to get a little peppered down. Here comes the Sarah Church coming out from Sam, forces out the Suzu, does nothing more. As now MI7 continue to try to push forward, but they've lost Rocket. Kitsune Rush comes out here from Try as Fungin finds the kill onto Anguish, and now Lure able to get the kill on the Try. So now MI7, even with the Kitsune Rush not in their favor, they're still pushing this card forward.
It's been beautifully done. They engaged through the Kitsune Rush while Reminiscence were already on the back foot. Don't give them the opportunity to step into it. Now it's both the support ultimates down. This is a very winnable map for MI7. Backing away. So smart. This is going to buy them time not just to regroup, but to get those support ultimates online. Now they've got the Dragon. They've got the Overclock. They've got Kitsune Rush. They have Sound Barrier. They have the makings of a beautiful point C cap.
Yeah, it's definitely possible now as Reminiscence have to back up a little bit. Blood Hungry is able to find Fungin, but already 3 of his teammates are in the grave. Overtime is going to be triggered as MI7 start pushing that cart into the final area. Oh, Hug comes out from Blood Hungry, able to eliminate Sam, trying to find more, but has to take the breather before it. Someone has to touch that cart from the side of Reminiscence. Blood Hungry still in your back line, 40 HP, will get shot by a railgun from Laura. Laura trying to finish it out here, trying to get that final kill on the Anguish. It's going to be Music Addict finishing out the kill. MI7 are able to do it. They got held out for a long time in the tunnel, but they will cap here on Midtown with no time left in the bank.
And what an incredible feat of strength. Not only playing that last point with an ultimate disadvantage, but being able to find their way through the initial whole hog, along with the Kitsune Rush of Try, and then the Sound Barrier of Glitch, all without losing too many players or too much time off the clock. They managed to burn through those 3 ultimates in about a minute flat, which is huge because it left them with 30 seconds and a massive ultimate advantage. From there, walking it across the line was supposed to be the easy part. It was made trickier, though, by the pick that we saw Blood Hungry get onto Fungin. They actually never got to come in and use that Sound Barrier that they had as an advantage, but nevertheless, still found a fight win, and a strong one at that, off the back of some beautiful ultimate economy play.
Yeah, definitely really good ult economy here from MI7, be able to turn the tide there and get that final point cap, but it was with 0 time left in the time bank, which means they have 2 situations. They either bring Reminiscence down to less than a minute and they cap it, or Reminiscence caps it and they don't get any sort of result in this except at best a draw, or they could just hold Reminiscence at the front, which right now it looks like they're trying to do here with this Junkrat's Sojourn here, Door.
Yeah, this is mean. This is similar to what I was talking about earlier, right? When I was talking about bringing that Hanzo, bringing just the damage pressure to throw through this choke point, it'd be really annoying. Not something we see in like Overwatch League, but for something like this, where it's just making it difficult, where you're leaving your opponents an opportunity to make a mistake, to walk into those mines. That's a lot of pressure being put on the players of Reminiscence, especially in a final, especially when the nerves are high, especially when you're trying to walk through a small hallway. They're really hard to avoid. Wow, Blood Hungry actually just like jump rope with the jump spine. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, Midtown is a very difficult map to go through if you don't like small spaces. That really, it is a lot of small alleyways you have to try to traverse. Reminiscence is trying to find their way through those right now. Lore almost overstays his welcome, just barely avoids the Roadhog clip. Someone get a slow motion clip on Lore trying to escape that hog hook. And now Lore's going to make it worth even more. Gets that headshot kill on the try here. And now Reminiscence, they're forced to back out, losing their first support. Now losing their other support in Glitch.
Really nicely done. MI7 are playing into this Junkrat very well. They're leaning hard onto it, pushing Reminiscence back into corners and just chucking mines at them. It is nuisance Overwatch play at its finest, and you see what Reminiscence do to change things up here. They'll bring on Ash and try and counterpoke, but Ash into this Junkrat. I mean, the second you peek corners, you're getting more mines thrown at you. It's good on this map, but finding the angles to work with is going to be tricky.
We saw the Ash come out on the Grand Central Station part of Midtown earlier from Reminiscence, so we'll see if it works into their value here. Sam does get hooked by Blood Hungry, but is able to stay alive with that Fortify, but now no cooldowns left for that Orisa, so now it's going to be a little bit difficult for Sam to be able to stay alive. Regardless of that, Reminiscence are not able to find any sort of pick thus far. It's a neutral fight, but now Sam, with that overload of that main fire, has to retreat a little bit, gets hooked out again. Right now, it's a poking fight as Sam unleashes a Terror Surge, unable to get anything with it, but Anguish is able to get the kill on this Sam, thanks to the help to this Karika, or this Kitsune Rush coming out from Tri, and all of a sudden it's Reminiscence putting MI7 down to the ground and finding the point for themselves.
It's that first Kitsune Rush that Tri came up with. Again, Tri has been an absolute menace getting up to them, and that's some credit to Tri, but I think largely due to the fact that MI7's comp just has so much damage, and most of that goes to the Roadhog, who doesn't die, who instead just loses health, and then that health goes into the back pocket of Tri's Kiriko, who then is put 30% ahead of Rocket in Kitsune Rush charge because of that interaction, and Reminiscence has been able to leverage that into a number of fight wins, but it hasn't exactly been consistent for them. They've lost a few fights with Kitsune Rush, so that is one thing I'd like to see them clean up a little bit in the future. For now, though, looks very profitable after breaking point A.
Absolutely, MI7 start making their way in, but Reborn already finds a shot onto Lore, unleashes the overclock, looking for more as the whole hog is also popped by Blood Hungry. Music Addict won't be able to unleash that tire. Reborn pops it in an instant, and Reminiscence looking very clean right now, pushing towards that Midtown tunnel. MI7 forced to retreat all the way to point B.
You know, it's funny, you said that Music Addict was popping a tire. I thought he was emote. I really couldn't tell. The screen that I'm on is like, I don't even think it's 1080p right now. This setup is so scuffed. Alright, though. Switches over to Hanzo, a character I can very well understand what's going on with. This pick for this map, I like it a lot, especially right at this level of play. It feels super good. Laura now can try and contest that high ground, and with the extra damage that of Music Addict, they're able to burn down Blood Hungry in no time.
Yeah, absolutely. Laura also able to get that kill on to try to stop the cart. And Anguish unleashes the bomb. Laura pays for his life with it, regardless of which, it's going to be MI7 being able to stall this cart out here right outside the Midtown Tunnel, just where Reminiscence held it. Reminiscence back to the drawing board.
Now the question is, how do they play this fight? This is arguably going to be one of the harder ones, right? With the Sound Barrier available and the Terror Surge. We've seen big Terror Surges from Sam on top of that. Now to contest this high ground, it should be a very good tool. Already with Anguish going down, I don't think they need a Sound Barrier again. This wasn't really, like, I don't mind it from MI7, right? If you win a fight with just Sound Barrier, you're pretty happy, and they didn't even get that much off the back of it. But there's an opportunity there, just take the pick and hold your Sound Barrier. And yeah, I think that was a missed one, at the very least.
Yeah, I believe the Sound Barrier was to keep up Laura. Laura fell to very low health, but the Sound Barrier didn't even connect to Laura, so that might have been a little bit of a fumble there from Fungin, regardless of which, Reminiscence now taking the very wide angle. MI7 know they're there. They have this Terror Surge and Dragon Strike, so here comes that Dragon Strike coming out from Music Addict, and it already is able to eliminate Anguish. The rest of Reminiscence just backing out in fear. Glitch, unfortunately, will be caught at the door, and it's going to be MI7 continuing their hold. 2 minutes left for Reminiscence, but now the ult bank is empty for MI7.
So I'll pose a pop quiz to you in chat. Like, I actually can't see chat. I don't have enough monitors or cell phones right now to see it. But how do you push this high ground? Go to the high ground, you get spammed out by the Hanzo. If you go to the low ground, then you're getting shot at by a Hanzo, a Sojourn, and an Orisa above you. If you try to go to the high ground through the stairs, the Orisa's going to lock you in a hallway. Like, this is it. Now they're just going to get Kitsune rushed on. They've got to maybe Sound Barrier their way through the hallway after Kitsune Rush top. It's difficult, to say the least, because now they try and move their way forward. Kitsune Rush comes out for Reminiscence, and they're going to try and bust their way through this.
Yeah, Blood Hungry already busts his way through, able to get 2 with that whole hog Kitsune Rush combo. Sam and Fungin both back to the spawn room here. Gets a third one on the Music Addicts. Reminiscence finally found the key to the door and now are making their entrance very swift and accordingly as that cart nears point B.
Yeah, you know what would have been great to have during that fight? A Sound Barrier. Anyways, it was a good fight, and again, that Kitsune Rush whole hog combo, something that they've used very well in the past. Now I believe this no longer a replay. We're back to trying to hold this one for MI7, and Lore is really the only one who's going to be capable of doing it. And at that, does manage to do so with just an overclock.
Yeah, Lore's overclock as well as some big picks from Music Addicts help MI7 there. And now 30 seconds for Reminiscence here, Door. Looking rough here on Midtown for them.
It ain't easy being this cheesy, but I'll tell you what, with 30 seconds on the clock, this fondue is looking mighty tasty. MI7 have a high ground to hold. They've got ultimates to boot. They've got a dragon to zone off the cart. Reminiscence have nothing for about 9 years. Maybe after Overwatch 3 comes out, they'll have a couple ultimates in their pockets. They're fighting high and dry. And not even high. The high ground belongs to MI7, who aren't going to be able to use it quite as well with Musket Addicts down.
Yeah, Music Addict ends up getting pulled down to the low ground by Blood Hungry, and Blood Hungry's not good. Gets another hook on the Lore. Isn't able to finish out the kill, but will be able to finish out Sam. All of a sudden, that ult bank from MI7 is going to waste as Blood Hungry is just killing everybody right now. Gets a third with the whole hog, is looking for the ace, but Anguish will take the kill on the Fungin, and it's going to be Reminiscence. No ults in the bank, no problem. They get point B.
Yeah, Music Addicts going down there first was a real bummer. That was one of the big things keeping the hog kind of away from the team was the damage side of that Hanzo. Now you've got cart push. You've got a minute on the clock. A similar situation to that of which MI7 was in earlier. Again, ultimates up first for Reminiscence. If they let MI7 get to their ultimates, and MI7 can force a neutral fight, can force a trade of those critical ultimates, though, it's going to be very, very difficult for Reminiscence to find their way through here without connecting a massive Death Blossom from Anguish. That really does seem like the trump card here that they have to land. Otherwise, Sam's Terror Surge is going to do again. Anguish from the high ground has got it all lined up.
Here he comes down from the top rope, lands right on the Fungin and already eliminates that Lucio before the beat could be popped. Sam finds the kill into Anguish, but Blood Hungry able to trade it out with 2. And Reminiscence, they're looking strong to be able to push this into point C and bring us to overtime rounds.
They've got to research. They got to regroup, get out of here, come back in. You have 4 ultimates and 1 fight. A pretty significant ultimate advantage for MI7. Reminiscence need to be proactive in this one. No, they back away. Can they disengage cleanly is the question. Terror Surge says no. Sound Barrier disengage. Terror Surge. Kitsune Rush. This is beautiful. Not from Reminiscence's turn. They push in. Sound Barrier. Kitsune Rush from MI7, but the overshields coming in from MI7 have given them the advantage that they need to win this. Can they take advantage of it? No, the shields wear off, and now it's just a dry fight. Both sides working with elbow grease, spitting a whole lot of duct tape, keeping themselves together, and apart falls Lore.
Yeah, Laura dies and Fungin dies as well after using the beat. Reminiscence looking good right now on the cleanup. Blood Hungry once again finding the picks. Glitch finds that kill on the rocket as the Dragon Strike from Music Addicts is nothing more than a cake topper on an absolute mess. Reminiscence able to get that point, and now we're going to overtime rounds. Each team has a minute in the bank to get as much progress on Midtown as they can.
What I tell you, Bowsy? Come back to Trek. It's only bangers. It's all. I don't know if I bring them with me. I'm gonna go ahead and take a little bit of credit here because I called my shot at the beginning of this broadcast. I only end up casting bangers here for one reason or another. These 2 teams have put up an incredible fight. Shout out to Anguish for finding that Death Blossom. Really understood the win condition of that fight. Taking down Fungin, which eliminated the sound barrier as a tool for MI7 that would have allowed them to play proactively and beat Reminiscence out early and then forced them into staggers. Completely shut down. Very, very well done. Rocket tried to react with the Suzu, but was too far away from the Lucio to actually save them. So, again, an extremely minor nitpicky positioning error, but it's one that Anguish is able to take advantage of, and now we get that overtime push. Both teams clutch up on point C. What can we get out of either of them? This first point really did seem to be where a lot of the time went for either of them. Point B as well. All about the picks, being able to burn away that time bank with only a minute left. A single shot from Lore, a single shot from Reborn, a single hook from Blood Hungry, or even a kunai from Try or Rocket could very well end the push and or hold of the other team.
We'll definitely see as MI7 come out of the spawn gates with the same comp we've seen them in. Try gets a little bit risky, wants to try to build up some percentages, but gets absolutely nothing in the aftermath here as MI7 start making their way through the main, looking for big picks, but Blood Hungry almost finds a big pick on the Music Addicts there with the hook. Isn't able to finish out the kill here as MI7 start making their way to the points. Reminiscence now have to try and engage into them. Blood Hungry misses the hook, and Music Addicts is there on the corner of the fire truck waiting for the move. MI7 looks like we'll be able to get the first tick in this fight now, as now Blood Hungry gets Another hit onto Sam. No kills resulted from either side. It's been nothing more than just a brawl. No kills resulted from either team. But now Rocket finds the first pick onto Anguish. Blood Hungry dies to Laura and MI7. They're looking at advantage to be able to cap the first point and start pushing that fire truck out of the station.
I mean, Trank ought to rebrand to Cutco the way these fights are laying on knife's edges right now. It is so close all the way through. And at the end of the day, MI7 find that first pick. You brought up Laura, you brought up Music Addicts and Sam, and being able to find those initial bits of pressure. And now with the point cap under their belt, MI7, no matter what happens, can be very happy with the results of this overtime. Can they continue it into another fight win? Again, we're looking at first pick. There's no ultimate though.
Absolutely, a first pick is crucial here. Blood Hungry misses the hook, lands it onto the fortified Orisa of Sam here. Reminiscence is trying to find their way in, but the pick is already used. Here comes the Terror Surge from Sam, and it's able to find Glitch. A lot of damage also pumped into Blood Hungry as MI7 finding the kills that they need to continue this push. That overclock, or not even an overclock from Laura, just the Kitsune arrows from Rocket is going to help MI7 push that card under the tunnel.
If it wasn't overtime, I'd be criticizing a Kitsune Rush, but I think overcommitting to guarantee wins on fights is exactly what you need to do here. Now you're coming to this one, you've got a Death Blossom. If this catches onto either of the supports of Reminiscence before the fight, it needs to be a proactive Death Blossom. If it catches onto either of those supports, MI7 will likely be seeing this thing further. Kitsune Rush down, Death Blossom in! Suzu, beautiful from Try, keeps him alive! The sound barrier now can see Reminiscence through the rest of the fight. The whole hog's got to connect Blood Hungry, trying to push everybody off the cart frantically and force that overtime barrier down. But in the meantime, Music Addict pushes Anguish off the cart, the whole hog wears off, and now MI7 are back and they look pissed-mouthy!
They look mad indeed. They do not want Reminiscence stopping their charge right now. It's a team kill for MI7 as Reminiscence are now in a world of hurt, Door. It's going to be the second point for the side of MI7.
There's no contest here. And the stagger spawns, very dangerous. If any of these picks are picked up, it's more distance and more ultimate charge going the way of MI7. This is an advantage for Reminiscence, right? They've got double DPS ultimates, but those can be shut down with smart cooldown play if MI7 are able to do that with a good boop, with a good Suzu from Rocket. Supports that MI7 could save the day, not even save the day, but really make this push, put some punctuation on an exclamation point, and push the thing even further if they can deny those DPS ultimates.
And it's already a big start. That's a big start. Rocket finds the first kill on the Glitch here as now Reminiscence looking for anything, but the Terror Surge from Sam is able to force them back farther. Anguish, however, able to find Laura. Rocket is also dead down in the hands of Blood Hungry, but he sacrifices his life for it to Fungent as MI7 still looking for the picks that they need to continue pushing this card forward. But Reminiscence, they seem to have finally found a stay cold, but MI7 pulled out of the ground as Music Addict finds Reborn, which gets the return kill to Music Addict. That was just as the force in Anguish trying to keep this alive for a Reminiscence, and it looks like they will be able to. It's going to be a good push here from the side of MI7, but it will not be going all the way, it seems like. But as I say that, Laura gets the kill onto Anguish. Blood Hungry's back in the fight, finds the kill onto Fungent once again. Rocket's Kitsune Rush is still available as Sam switching over to the right hand to try to keep this alive. Beat from Glitch is there.
That's gotta be it.
It has to be it, but the Blossoms is out here from Music Addict, keeping everybody away, but it's not going to be enough. MI7, they pushed it 31 meters, but the critical point, 2 points taken, Door.
Yeah, this is normally the point where I'd be like, oh yeah, a sigh of relief from Reminiscence because they won the fight, but that's not a sigh of relief. That push from MI7 was frankly monstrous. Winning that first fight, getting the first Terror Surge up from Sam was such a massive, indescribable advantage. This one here that you're watching on your screen, and allow them to push and really make that into what it was, into winning the second fight with the support ultimates, into winning the third fight by denying the support ultimates of the other side. Really, really phenomenally played by MI7, and some real mastery over the ultimate economy is being shown, especially after a map number 1 where I think that wasn't necessarily a strong suit of theirs. That's super refreshing. There's still defense to play yet, though. We've got the Junkrat back out. The J Silly is back on the field. I would have rather the Hanzo stayed personally, but honestly, I can't be mad at this pick. It did stuff Reminiscence up for some time, and to be fair, you've only got to hold them for a minute here. Play what you're comfortable with.
Might as well play your comfort right now for MI7, and that Junkrat did a really good job of keeping Reminiscence at bay here. But Reminiscence might be coming out with a special pick of their own right now. Reborn currently showing the Echo, which could provide a lot more high ground that MI7 may not be able to cover.
Well, it does two things. One, right, it gives a little bit of pick pressure. There's no traditional hit scan here. Lore technically could deal with that Echo, but it's hard. And on top of that, this Echo can put more pressure onto Sam by being able to beam through the deflecting spear. So a lot of opportunities to kind of inherently counter this composition. Let's see what Reborn can get done. Takes a wide angle here. Grabs the health pack for about 20 HP, but that's a value. It's 3 seconds to go grab that health pack, but time is not something that Reminiscence have much of. Let's be real with ourselves. With Anguish going down, it's already not looking good.
No, it is not looking good at all. Reborn, however, is able to find the kill on the Music Addicts, but Blood Hungry bought extremely low. The Suzu and the Breather are both used in tandem as MI7 are trying to find more picks for their own here. What a spear on the glitch from Sam, eliminating that Lucio. What a spear from Sam, eliminating the Lucio there, as now MI7 finding the kill that they need. Blood Hungry and Anguish, however, are still in this fight. There's 10 seconds left. Anguish is now off the field. Blood Hungry will follow, as now the rest of Reminiscence is trying to run back. Is there anybody there to touch? The answer is no. MI7 even up the series.
What a way to fire back. My God, the point C push, the overtime push, Reminiscence's push on their own. I mean, it was nice. It was impressive that they managed to cap that point C with so little time. In the face of MI7, once the Junkrat came out, once the Hanzo came out, once the Tracer came out, everything really started to align for them. Not to mention, like I said, what cannot be overstated, their ability to roll these ultimates much more effectively than they were in the first map has been huge in turning this series around for them and making it so much more playable.
Absolutely. What a turnaround from MI7. It looked rough on Control, but they were able to make it work here on Midtown, and now have evened up our series heading into our Escort map, which now Reminiscence gets the choice of Circuit Royale, Junkertown, and Dorado. So it's going to be interesting to see what they decide to go for here for our third map of the series before we head into a halftime break after that. And then it's going to be interesting to see what they're going to be able to do moving forward. So definitely could be an interesting move here from either side. We'll have to see what's going to be the move here. They have chosen Circuit Royale, but just looking at these replays, MI7 really lit most of these up here, Dor.
Yeah, I mean, for good reason at that, right? It was strong ultimate usage. Lore was a highlight machine on this map. A large part of the reason why I'm assuming they picked it, right? Because it enabled that hit scan so well with the high grounds on the first and second point, especially being kind of the key point in being able to do that. We saw the point be used super effectively, though, and I think this portion of the map here was where it was won and lost for each respective team. The ability to hold that high ground with the Dragon from Music Addicts, with the hallway spam from Music Addicts, with Junkrat, with Lore's overclocks from the high ground, with Sam's ability to knock people off of it constantly. It was a real difficulty for the map in general. Now, heading in though, map pick goes over back to Reminiscence, and I think this is a great opportunity. Escort is a map type that generally has a lot of hit scan leaning maps, but getting the opportunity to kind of pick away from that in the one map type that does have more of them is very powerful, and I'm curious to see what their pick is, if they try and avoid Lore in that hit scan, or if they want to just lean into what they're comfortable with.
Yeah, definitely. The choice for Reminiscence is already chosen. It is Circuit Royale that we'll be going to for our third map, so...
Well, what?
Circuit Royale is the
You're kidding,
map
right?
choice. I'm not kidding. Circuit Royale.
So Lore just took you to school on Midtown, and you're like, yeah, let's go to the hit scan map. All right, you know what, fine. You know what? It takes cojones is what it takes. It takes some real guts, kid, to pick Circuit Royale into MI7 after the way that Midtown just went down, but it does give them the opportunity to at least change up the tank line, and maybe that's what they're really trying to do.
Well, we definitely could see a tank line swap here from Reminiscence. They, of course, have Choi Soo-hwan on that roster. We saw them come in for Oasis. Now, if we see them come in for Circuit Royale, we could see some very good Sigma play from Choi Soo-hwan. That's not a confirmed swap. What is a confirmed swap is Ascend is coming in for Funjin now, which means that is Ascend going over to the support role. And you also have Manny, I believe, going over to support as well. So it's going to be interesting to see what the moves are going to be here for the side of MI7. Actually, no, that makes sense. Ascend and Lore is going to be your DPS line. Manny is going to be on support for Funjin in this next map. So we'll have to see what the move is here from MI7. Obviously, putting a more DPS-centric player on support means that you're probably going to want to run more flex support.
It's going to be, yeah, it's Zen Dap 100% of the time here. This composition is pretty set in stone. This map, at least in contenders, I'm assuming kind of everywhere else, right? You run the Sigma, double sniper, Zenyatta, Baptiste, and you just let your DPS players cook. I do think there's a large part of the first point that is predicated on the Sigma's ability to hold space against the other Sigma and against spam. I'm a huge fan of Hanzo on this map. I think the extra pressure it puts on that Sigma shield is extremely valuable, and I don't think you lose that much value compared to something like a Widowmaker or the Sojourn, whichever one you want to sub it out for. And I think being able to win that initial Sigma fight and be able to pressure the shield more with the use of Storm Arrow is a massive advantage, and I'd love to see these teams lean into it, especially MI7, who've already shown us that Hanzo from Music Addict.
Yeah, definitely. We could see a lot of different styles from both of these teams as we're currently waiting for the go into the map, and we'll see what these two teams are deciding to run here for their compositions. But definitely, Zen Bap is a very viable option. I've also seen Mercy Zen, Mercy Bap, Mercy Kariko in Harmony tier. There's a lot of different support comps you can run, but most teams want to stick to that double flex support composition, the Bap Zen or the Bap Kariko, just so you can have a lot of damage pouring in as well with the good heals. So definitely is probably going to be the case here for MI7. It'll be interesting to see what Reminiscence decide to do with their support comps.
Like I said, I suspect similar things from both sides here. This map has been relatively solved comp-wise. It just is supremely optimal for the map. I played Circuit Royale for the first time, and I literally instantly remarked, this is a Sigma map. So if there's anything other than that coming out, and we have seen it. I mean, the Timeless, I believe. No, not Timeless. It was Team Peps, the French team over in EU Contenders, tried to bring Winston here for some time after they started on a little bit of a loss streak on the map, and that looked okay at times when they were able to run it into teams that maybe weren't ready for it. So it's not all out there, but given what we've seen out of these teams before, everything that was on the menu before certainly is now. We're getting more of what we expected. Choi Soo-hwan is definitely popping this Wrecking Ball. If you stick on Wrecking Ball here, you're literally running it down. So that'll be over to a Sigma DPS lineup, though slightly different. I brought up the Hanzo. Ascend looks to bring that in. Seraph, though, locking in the Widowmaker to go up against Lore is going to be tough. Reborn and Ascend offer up fairly similar things here for either side. Try will be able to boost up the damage of Reborn. The Mercy now combos with that Sojourn a lot more effectively since the changes. But no, swaps over to Kiriko along with the Zenyatta. So not the Zen Bap that we kind of expect, but still a powerful combination nevertheless.
Absolutely. Is now the two teams facing off. Reminiscence on the attack now. It's noteworthy. Choi Soo-won is in for Blood Hungry. Seraph in for Anguish. So they have those two DPS that they swapped in here for this map. As the Lore looking for picks. I mentioned the hit scan prowess of Lore, so we'll see if they're able to live up to the task. Seraph dropping extremely low there. Almost dies out, but MI7 still looking for some sustain. Reminiscence have taken the high ground away from them right now. That card isn't moving too far away past that Lamborghini.
No, I mean, this is where the first real fight is, right at this corner. Sometimes you'll see a pick before here, but not often if both teams are playing off. Now this comes down to the Sigma. Dancing around this corner and managing your resources is huge. And Reminiscent, oh my god, they just steamrolled. What? Oh! Okay, Laura's going to find an opening shot on the Seraph, but that was not with space made by the Sigma. Yeah, Laura had to peek aggressively in order to find that pick and ends up paying the price for it. That did look very wrong that Laura was able to get away with that, and rightfully so. It's because it was wrong. Laura didn't get away with it. It's because they lost all that space initially from the initial Sigma war, and Choi Soo-hwan just kind of dominating it off the damage pressure that Ascend was likely putting in.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's going to be the first point here to Reminiscence, profiting off of the retreating of MI7 and that first pick onto Laura there, so definitely potential here for Reminiscence as they start climbing up the hill to order. What does MI7 do here to try and recontest?
Just slow things down. Reminiscence have those ultimates. You can force them to use it early or poke out until you get your amplification matrix up. It's a good opportunity. The real problem is going to be disengaging this Kitsune. Oh, wow. He rocked himself. That's unfortunate. Anyways, try down, and now you no longer have to worry about circumventing Kitsune Rush at the very least. So they've had time now. Music Addict will be able to build up a Transcendence.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely time here for MI7 to be able to build up these ultimates. Now, we're going to have all 5 ults heading into this next fight here. Reminiscence do have some ults. They have this Gravitic Flux, the Kitsune Rush, and the Transcendence, so they're going to have something heading into this next fight here. As right now, Reminiscence looking for the push. Here comes that Flux starting out here from Choi Soo-hwan. It was a grapple out there. Yeah, I mean, found the kill into Sam, and now Reborn finds the railgun shot into Lore. If a Dragon Strike from Ascend is just there to make space, but Music Addict does use the Transcendence, but doesn't really help anybody with it. Does get the melee kill onto Reborn, but sacrifices their life for it, and Reminiscence are making the raid cleanly with just one ult.
Yeah, we spent Trance Dragon up against just the Flux. The Immortality Field missed, the Trance missed, everything that could have very easily kept Sam alive on that high ground. Like, it's not It's not. Reminiscence didn't have a sightline onto him outside of when he went up in the flux. They couldn't have shot an immortality field if they wanted to. And now the ultimate advantage here for Reminiscence should just allow them to steamroll through this with the advantage of this portal. Maybe there's damage from MI7 going through the amplification matrix. That's enough, but I really don't think that's ever going to be the case. The cart pressure alone is just too much. They have to push forward aggressively through their amplification matrix, and they've managed to do so. How has this happened? How have MI7 managed to do this? Reminiscence had every advantage in the world coming in here. The double support opens were so powerful. Trance and Kitsune Rush all canceled out. MI7 smartly hide behind an amplification matrix that just sees them through.
Yeah, I mean, Reminiscence just a little bit faulty there. MI7 did a really good job on the recontest, did a really good job of keeping Sam up, who was contesting the cart, so we'll see now. There is a down player on the side of MI7. As Sen died, it's a Seraph there, as now MI7 looking to continue holding this cart, but Reborn has already found an overclock kill on the Music Addict. Finds another one onto Rocket, is looking for more, but already Reminiscence, they found 3. Make it 4, make it 4, make it 5 kills for Reminiscence. A team kill, and now that car is headed into the hotel.
Hey, just let Reborn cook. I'm cool with that. We had all the ultimates come out earlier. This guy is here to play.
Oh no!
Beautifully done at that. What's going here?
Music Addict stuck. They're
right.
They're in the first
one. Quick little PowerPoint presentation as to what your game plan is, because I don't think it's going to last very long. I need 5 paragraphs, intro, conclusion, and body of an explanation of what exactly Music Addict is going to do from the flank as Zenyatta. At least they don't hear his footsteps.
I mean,
and that is like the one positive. Any other character, they know. They don't know that he exists. And, yeah, they just blink out. Still stuck in the old spawn. I think the team will be able to regroup with them and maybe help them get out of there. But until then, it's just Sen looking for a pick in the backline. Ooh, and all he gets is a mouthful of orb.
Yeah, Sen looks for the pick, gets picked out instead, and now Music Addict is getting forced out of that. Music Addict just doesn't leave. He has a very important presentation to make, Door, and he had to stay in that room for as long as possible. Regardless of which, Flux comes out here from Reminiscence. MI7 looking to try and find themselves in this, but Rocket is now dead. And now comes the Flux from Sam. It will land onto Glitch, but all it's going to do is just force out the Consider Rush from Try, and now it's looking even rougher here for the side of MI7. As Sen finds the headshot onto Seraph, and the Transcendence from Music Addict helps them push forward even more, but now Glitch finds the kill on the Music Addicts, and MI7 looking rough here. As Sen finds the kill on the Try, and might still be winnable, and actually, it might. When we doubt MI7 the most, it seems like they always come back, Door.
I mean, there's still 2.5 minutes on the clock, about 5 meters to go. We're not going to count our chickens till they hatch, Bowsy. Right. Nevertheless, Reminiscence still a strong chance here. MI7, I think some missteps positionally in that fight. Obviously, the Tracer going down is rough. They could have pushed out and helped the Addicts get out of that spawn door. I think there was just some miscommunication, and they basically had Home Alone happen, but on Circuit Royale, where Music Addicts was just left in a corner and the rest of the team forgot about him. Now, they've got an ultimate advantage. They should be able to see through with the Dragon and the damage from Ascend. Yeah, not many ways to get through this for Reminiscence in the face of all that damage.
Absolutely good headshot there from Reminiscence to eliminate Choice Su Wan. Uses the Dragon to separate members. Seraph's going to be the last one caught out here, it seems. Reminiscence once again backing up, and now it's another minute about burned off the clock here from MI7. Reminiscence, however, they're coming in with some big stuff here, Dorn.
I mean, it's really that overclock from Reborn. Reborn saw them through point B earlier on. I think you've got to do the same exact thing here.
See if Reborn's able to do it. Almost already finds out the kill onto Laura. Laura is literally 1 health. Someone needs to heal that soldier. Looks like it's going to be the Zenyatta who does the honors there, or maybe the Baptiste. Regardless of which, Reminiscence find their way to the cart. They're still looking for a pick here. Seraph on the high ground, looking for that kill onto Ascend. His Choice Su Wan on the low ground is trying to find anything right now. Misses the rock there onto Rocket, as now here comes the Gravitic Flux from Sam. Lands onto Glitch with that Transcendence, and now 2 members dead here for the side of Reminiscence. The Flux is big from Choice Su Wan, but it doesn't find anything except Music Addicts thanks to Try. And Try goes down 2 on that Kariko. Choice Su Wan is still alive. Sam is now going to fall, and now all of a sudden Reminiscence, 2 people in the bank, and they're going to be able to cap the point because of it. Try and Choice Su Wan bringing Reminiscence all the way to the finish line.
What did I just want? Try lives up to their name, kills 3, but I don't think we got to change the name from Try to Just Do, because that's all this guy does. Oh my lord! That was 1 Kiriko. They had no other way through that fight. That guy just fragged. That's absurd. There's no analysis to be done. He just hit his shot. They shouldn't have won that fight.
They should not have won that fight whatsoever, but Try insists that it is done, and now Reminiscence, 39 seconds left in the time bank. They do cap a Circuit Royale here. Now MI7 get to attack here. We'll see what the move is here from Reminiscence on the defense. No surprise to see him once again in the Sigma, but the Tracer now, Door. Interesting pick from Reborn.
We'll see if it stays out. I'm curious, because the Tracer just is bad here on defense. Like, there's no way for the Tracer to wrap around the team. If you do get behind the team, there's not enough space to actually exist back there safely. What's the initial positioning from Reborn actually look like is my question. Yeah, okay, so you can see the Tracer walk up to this high ground behind, right?
Yeah.
What's likely going to happen here is that either Reborn gets absolutely nothing done. Reborn one-clips somebody and shuts me up, or just gets pushed back by MI7, because once you're back there, you're back there. Once you recall and you're still back there. It's like there's no safe way out. The road you have to exit through is so long, not even Tracer's ability is going to get you out of it. I'm struggling to the vision here. But as we go to the other side, Ascend brings out the Junkrat. Similar idea to the Hanzo, put pressure on that Sigma shield. I do like the Hanzo more than the Junkrat here, but it will have a similar effect nevertheless.
Yeah, the Junkrat looks like it's flanking from behind, actually. Ascend, I believe, went to the back line with the Junkrat, and now it's just peppering bombs.
He went back to spawn everywhere he went.
I saw the Junkrat jump over, that's why I thought.
Pick,
but you know
like
what? It's going to be able to find the pick onto Reborn here. Reborn's Tracer.
Crazy.
I mean, it was one of the two results you just said. Reborn didn't really find anything there. And now Reminiscence now just trying to stall it out here, trying to keep themselves alive. Ascend's going to find the kill here on to Try here with those Storm Arrows, and now Choice Yuan is going to struggle a little bit more here, down one of his supports. Now Glitch out of the picture as well. Reminiscence going to back up. MI7 push that card forward.
Greetings.
So one of the big reasons why we don't see that early hold as much with the Sigma, like we saw it initially in like Junker Queen meta and stuff like that at that first corner. But with Sigma, disengaging becomes more of a thing because you get pressured out of your utility and you have to give up space. You can't give up that much space all at once though, or else you lose a fight. When you lose a fight, you lose an ultimate charge. When you lose ultimate charge, you lose these corners. And take a look, the cart on the bottom right side of your screen is already rounding one, and the attacker is going to be at a massive advantage in terms of ultimate charge to just be able to flux their way around this corner. Seraph goes down, Flux is out, Flux goes up, down goes the back line here, and immediately MI7 have captured the first point. All due to the fact that Reminiscence tried to hold that aggressively and tried to play Reborn on that flank with the Tracer. It just doesn't quite work.
Now, Choice Yuan does find a good pair of picks there onto both supports with his own Gravitic Flux, but it's not really going to matter as Music Addicts is going to be able to get the close spawn. Rocket has to run back. Reminiscence going to have to reset up as MI7 take the first point.
And again, it falls back to the dominoes that I was talking about, right? Reminiscence tried to hold early, and if you lose that first fight while trying to hold early, the house of cards just comes crumbling down. You have nothing left on point A after that, and that's why we see a lot of teams not do it. For good reason. Now coming to point B, Reminiscence have a much better setup. We've got ultimates to play with here. This is definitely where they want to dig their heels in and try and get back into this map.
Oh! It's hard to dig your heels in when the Shimada duel goes in favor of the Hanzo. Ascend finds the kill onto Reborn, and Laura also finds the kill there onto Glitch. MI7 using that Kitsune to their advantage, and they're continuing to push this card up the hill of Circuit Royale.
And the Genji is kind of a theoretical counter to the double sniper. Even into the Hanzo, it can be very good, but with the distances that you're playing at on this map, it's hard. I've seen some people should do it, but take some skill. One last fight here, though. Reminiscence have ultimates, so do MI7. It's going to get messy on point B.
Here comes the Dragon Strike first here from Ascend, looking for the separation, and will be able to separate Seraph into a corner where Rocket finds his head. Laura also finds the kill here on to Try. Reborn does get the dash kill onto Ascend here, wins that Shimada duel, and now is going after Laura, but the rest of his team is falling, or the rest of their team is falling one by one. Pops the blade, gets popped by Sam, and it's going to be MI7 pushing that cart into the final point here. But, I mean, then again, we saw it happen last time. Try's going to come back in for the recontest. Sam and Rocket are the only two people there. Sam's going to help eliminate Try. Glitch comes back in for the recontest. It's just an absolute pandemonium. Reminiscence trying to stop the cart, and all they get is a stagger.
A Sigma and a Baptiste is like dream team of two versus however many were trying to come and contest that cart, right? The Sigma's never in a million years going to die there. So very well played by MI7. One thing I want to point out is actually kind of the initial positioning from Laura in that fight, playing on top of the racing tent and behind it. When Reminiscence came in and looked for the engage, looked for the dive onto the back line with the Genji, they didn't find Laura back there because Laura was even deeper on the flank. Our positioning from the Widowmaker and the fact that Kiriko to kind of keep her alive and make sure that she was able to see her way through the fight, or at least until that blade came out. That was really smart. It was a proactive, heads-up, creative play from MI7 in terms of positioning.
Absolutely is. It looks like we're going to be heading back in here very shortly after that pause from Choi Soo Hwan, who called it. Probably just a connection error. Might have explained some of the questionable decisions from Reminiscence. Nonetheless, the cart now going to be entering into the hotel here for MI7. 4.5 minutes on the time bank. Looking risky for Reminiscence here, Door.
It ain't easy trying to hold us. Not with 4.5 minutes on the clock. Not with the ultimates coming up for MI7. They're going to have a small advantage here with their ability to pick them up here. Grid Flux could be used early on in this fight. Oh! Rock him out of it. Now it's Choi Soo-hwan's turn. Got him to find value out of it. They do. Rocket down, ascend to fall. Try make things messy, though. If Sam falls here, though, it should just mean the end of the push. Yeah. Even trading that, you're actually decently happy with. Glitch should be able to make sure his card doesn't go anywhere else, at least until teammates get back. Does need to heal back up. That's bad, though. That's actually getting worse. We're kind of running out of ways to recontest this card slowly but surely. There we go. Okay. Genji's back. We dive on him. Right in the world. Glitch did manage to keep it where it was meant to be.
Yeah, definitely. Reminiscence, good hold there, but now MI7 going to be coming back in pretty quickly here. Sam switching over to the Winston for the final point. You don't see a lot of Monkey, but Sen able to help it out here. Gets that first pick on the try, eliminates one of the animals right now in this hotel right now. Rocket does pop the window here as now more picks are trying to be found here by the side of MI7. You see Choi Soo-whan stuck in that corner, will get lasered and balled to death by Music Addicts. That's a weird thing to say. Regardless, MI7 continuing to find the picks courtesy of the Zen from Music Addicts. And it's going to be them pushing this toward the final checkpoint here with still 3 minutes in the bank.
I mean, it's no secret. I'm a fan of the Monkey. I think Sam Lucky in here super powerful for controlling all these high grounds. Now the Hawk comes in, a theoretical counter to the Winston, immediately shuts down Rocket. 2:44 on the clock though. Hey look, we're not winning this fight, MI7, but next fight, 3 major ultimates. We've got the Transcendence, we've got the Dragon, and Sights for the Widowmaker to zone them off. Sam should be coming up on a Primal Rage to push people off. If Choi Soo-whan does not find a pick early in this fight, if Reborn does not find an aggressive blade to force out that trance early, we could be looking at a very sizable time bank.
Yeah, definitely. We could be looking at a sizable time bank for MI7 as they start making their engage once again. Trying to separate that hog of Choi Soo-whan as Sam is back onto the Sigma here. Might have been a little bit of mind games, might have been a little bit of a messy swap. Nonetheless, the Dragon Strike comes out from Ascend. Doesn't really knock anybody out of position, doesn't find anybody either here as MI7 still looking for that first pick. Lord unable to find anything as the overclock is popped here by Seraph. Doesn't find anything except the lamp here from Rocket. As now Reminiscence still making their way in. Seraph finds the kill on the Lord. Choi Soo-whan gets the hook up onto Sam. Ascend finds the kill on the Glitch, but Reborn is now dashing through the enemy lines, and they are hungry for more kills. Trying to finish off Sam here with all the melees that a Genji can take. Reminiscence already burned down that time bank by half.
All right, we're chipping away like we're working on a stone statue, and slowly but surely a form is coming out of it. With all the ultimates have up, there's something we've seen them do well, is maintain ultimate economy advantage. Combo, immediately. I'm expecting Kitsune Rush Hog to start the thing out.
Kitsune Rush, the window comes out from Rocket, the blade also comes out here from Reborn, but it's countered by that Transcendence from Music Addict. Ascend finds the kill on the Glitch, but Lore is killed out here to Reborn here, so might have been a little bit of overinvestment. Lore might have gone for a weird angle and away from the Transcendence. Regardless, here comes that whole hog from Choi Soo-whan. No Kitsune Rush used here yet. As now Choi Soo-whan going to get burned down, unfortunately. Rocket able to find the kill onto that Roadhog as MI7 start making their way back to the cart where they'll be met by an angry Tri looking for picks.
Yeah, I think Choi Soo-whan missed it, but might have just hit the hook and then said, I'm going to follow it up and went for it. But now, all they have is that Kitsune Rush and into a Gridic Flux. Gridic Flux is actually a great ability into Kitsune Rush, right? Because you can deny the engagement through it. Sam does exactly that. Taking down Seraph before they can group up within the Kitsune Rush. And all they have to do is outlast it, make sure that hog goes down, and you're home free, baby. 26 seconds on the clock. This thing's getting across. I don't care what you throw it at.
Well, there's a Bastion coming out from Reborn. Doesn't look like it's going to be able to do anything except send itself back to the spawn room here as MI7 will be able to cap that point, albeit in less time than Reminiscence were able to. 1 minute and 21 seconds for Reminiscence on their attack round later. But now MI7, they get a single minute to try and push that cart as far as possible.
Look, Bowsy, I'm not mad at 20 seconds. I'm not mad at 20. When we're working with these small time banks, it's not too big a deal. It might allow for one disengage extra. I'm not 100% sure how much so. I think MI7 have been a team that's looked very good forcing disengage through, so maybe they can milk another push out of that little bit of extra time that they've gotten. But the most important thing to this whole overtime is point A's. I think we saw a significantly easier time here for MI7, largely due to the fact that we saw that early hold. Are they going for Reborn on this Tracer on the flank again? That's really the only thing I'm looking for. Oh god, they are. Oh god, they are, Bowsy. You can see the strategy. You can see the idea. Right. It's just the knock-on effects of losing a first fight with this hold are so bonkers bad that it's not worth the risk.
Yeah, Reborn on the Tracer is definitely a very risky play here, but they're most likely...
If they can get a first fight win, it's okay. Right? Then you can hold the first corner, and you're like, okay, we're trying to stop them early. Actually, I think it's better technically in overtime because you're able to hold the cart earlier, at least potentially hold the cart earlier. It still on paper is risky, to say the least, especially if your Sigma takes that much damage immediately.
And especially when you lose your Sojourn early as well as one of your DPS out of the picture. Reborn is able to get the kill into Ascend, so they're living up to the name, but Laura will end up shutting them out immediately here. MI7 though, they are down 1, but now Laura is in the back line of the teammates, trying to close hold it. Both of the supports stuck in a small room, and they'll be setting themselves back to spawn. And now MI7, full control of his cart. 30 seconds left. They're gonna have to go. They're gonna go into overtime, but now Reminiscence need to stop that cart.
And now we draw our eyes to the ultimate charge. Sam, 10%, 15% ahead of Choi Soo-hwan. Rocket ahead of both other supports. Music Addicts as well ahead. This is huge going into the final corner. Again, you skipped the corner hold because you lost that fight. Now we're fighting for the very last corner of the point. We've only got one opportunity here, and we're at an ultimate disadvantage to Reminiscence. MI7 should, in theory, be able to win this unless Reminiscence find a huge first pick.
We'll definitely see MI7 trying to hold it out here as Reborn trying to burn down the members of MI7 in the backline. Has to force out that recall early here as MI7 starts to back up. Are they going to be able to touch? Okay. Yeah, they do touch. The Sigma is there from Sam and is able to eliminate Reborn as well. Ascend does die to Seraph here as Choi Soo-won is trying to keep this alive. Sam trying to do a lot of damage here as Music Addict is able to get the kill onto Seraph as well. Reminiscence starting to look a little bit sloppy here as it's going to be MI7 pushing that cart forward into the first checkpoint as long as they deal with the rest of the staggers, and they will, thanks in part to Music Addicts.
And it came down to that amplification matrix from Rocket, really putting Choi Soo-hwan on an island from the rest of the team, separating him away and making it so much more difficult for that team to play the fight. That's a point A cap. That is massive with a minute on the clock. A push that is normally resulting in like 2 strong opportunities to hold has only been 1 for Reminiscence. Now they got to fight up the hill. Ultimate disadvantage. This is a disaster. They're going to try and play aggressively, force that Transcendence out, and they do. Now they've got to find the Kitsune, rush down barrier, engage. Oh wait, they just Sig9. Okay, that works too. You're supposed to have somebody away from the cart to counter that, but it's tense times. It's rough. Funny Sig9, but a small mistake in the grand scheme of things. A point A cap still phenomenal for MI7.
Yeah, definitely. Good job by MI7 to be able to cap that point there, but you can see right here.
Nobody's standing off the cart, you know! Oh! Okay.
Yeah, you can see, this is the moment right here. Choi Soo-won uses that flux. You can see the Hanzo was probably the one who had the touch. Little bit too late there from Ascend there to be able to touch.
Well. Sam could have, but he tried to flux counter. Yeah. It's rough because when the pressure's on, you're in Discord tier finals, you're on broadcast. Dor is constantly sitting here ready to criticize your every move. Like, little things like that, which again are nitpicking to try and prepare for a Sig9. It really is nitpicking, and it's a very understandable thing. And it was a great play by Choi Soo-won to recognize the opportunity to get in there, because it did shut down what very well could have been a winning fight for MI7 very early. Now, though, it comes down to Reminiscence. Do they have that dog in them? Can they get through these first 3 corners of the map? MI7 played the map much more traditionally on their hold, trying to hold the 2 strong corners around the shop, not trying to play so aggressively as Reminiscence did. In overtime, I think that puts them at a massive advantage, especially with Ascend locking back in the Hanzo.
Absolutely. We'll see what the move is here. Reminiscence coming out of the spawn gates. 20 seconds more than MI7. MI7 obviously setting up on that high ground that we saw them on before, it seems like, as now the card starts moving toward technically the first corner. Reminiscence met up with that high ground of MI7. No picks exchanged thus far, but damage done into the members of Reminiscence and MI7. But Ascendant finds the critical first headshot onto Glitch, already eliminates one of the critical supports to keep Reminiscence's hopes alive. Reminiscence to answer back with a pick of their own quickly here, or else MI7 are in a very good spot here to try and keep this card contested right where it is.
MI7 should not contest this high ground too aggressively, otherwise trades are going to go fairly poorly for them. With Reborn down, I think this is smart. Yep, back away, play your corner. This is where it turns back into a sustained game. You can wait for your Hanzo to come back, and then hold this first corner. Something we've yet to see Reminiscence even dream of doing on their own defense. Sam needs it. Come on, hold strong, hold strong. Press W, Sam. You gotta get in this corner and really dig your feet in. It's so difficult. Now backed up, they back up into the Gravitic Flux. Fortunately, that only finds one kill, but it finds a kill on the Music Addicts. That is huge for Reminiscence, who can now push in. Damage too much without the Kiriko. The health bars are never going to come back up. Damage force amplification from Rocket is just a desperate attempt at stopping this cart. Now it's point A cap. The yellow box of victory in their sights. Reminiscence are on the cusp of putting this 2-1.
Reminiscence very close to putting this 2-1. Rocket is switching over to the Desperation Lucio to bring everybody back into this fight here. Mostly Sam, as that Sigma is crucial here. Music Addicts might have to be the first one to touch this card, and they're not even close to it. The rest of MI7 trying to run back to stop that card from touching as they're pushing toward the down the hill, trying to stop it before it hits the golden box of victory. They will be able to, but now what do the health bars and what does the aggression say? It says Lure has the overclock, finds the kill on the Glitch, finds the kill on the Scarf. Lure is trying to save this game for MI7 and keep them in this series right now. He does get killed out by Tri, but the damage is already done. The Sigma Flux is there, and it's another Sig 9 to guarantee MI7 a second map win in this series.
Oh, Bowsy, I ain't got more and more of these maps in me. I didn't eat my Cheerios this morning. My cholesterol, my blood pressure, a little too high for this. I'll be straight with you. Play of the game here goes to Music Addicts, but I'll be honest, I think the real play of the game was Tri's absurd 3K at the end of point C. That was one of the dumbest things I've seen in a while, and that is to give complete credit to Tri for hitting that many shots. Phenomenal play by both sides. Locking in at the end, though, I mean, Lure on Circuit Royale. I warned him. I warned Reminiscent. I said, why on earth are you picking Circuit Royale? Why are you picking the hit scan map and the hit scan player? And then he comes in and absolutely dishes it out like we expected him to. Pulls up with a clutch at the last minute. Everything else that happened in that map, I mean, I think I already spoke plenty about it. The close holds from Reminiscence, mildly questionable, but the mechanical play from all sides has just been phenomenal.
Yeah, definitely. Reminiscence and MI7 definitely showing in the mechanical aspect overall, but MI7 just etching out a little bit more, and now entering halftime, they're up 2-1, but there still is hope. When we come back from the break, we will see the conclusion of this series, and we'll see who is taking home the Discord Tier Championship between these two tightly contested teams. We'll see you on the other end of the break. Welcome back, everybody, to the Season 9 Tranquility Gaming Discord Tier North American Finals. So far, it has been a very close affair, but it's MI7 leading after the half as we head into our map number 4, Bowser here with Door and Dog, as we head into Esperanza, which is Reminiscence's map choice. We'll have to see what the map is going to provide here for Reminiscence as we head into our 4th map here, Door.
I'm excited. Esperanza, I think, is going to give us some really cool compositional changes, potentially. I'm looking potentially at Winston. I'd like to see it for these teams. It's particularly powerful for controlling that initial high ground, which is where we see a lot of the fight. But if the Hog came back out for Reminiscence, I would be entirely unsurprised. I think that's where a lot of their good pressure came from.
Yeah, definitely. There is a lot of different things we can see here from both of these sides. There are swaps coming in, though. Fungin is coming back in for the support role. It's going to be Fungin in on the support role. Ascend is going back to the DPS role, which means we're not going to be seeing music in the lineup. Or actually, no, we will be seeing music in the lineup. Music will be on DPS now. Yeah. It took a bit for me to recognize it. It takes a bit to recognize those roster choices, regardless of which, Reminiscence, if they lose this map, they're in dangerous territory, so they got to start picking up the pace again, or else they could be facing match point up against MI7.
Yeah, I mean, I was impressed for a while. Circuit Royale was close, but this series seems to be back and forth. One flip of the coin could change things in its entirety. Again, I don't think we've seen the breadth of the compositions that I expect to get out of these teams, right? I thought Bloodthirsty would bring, or Bloodhungry, Bloodthirsty, I can't remember which it was. Bloodhungry would bring a few more options to the table, but considering that Bloodhungry just continued to play the Hog, the compositional diversity that I kind of expect from Reminiscence with 2 tank players isn't all that I expected it to be, and so it does seem like this is kind of the peak of evolution, and now it's just who can perform at the highest peak for the longest.
Absolutely, it'll definitely be interesting to see which teams take over what as Door gets to have fun with his dog over there. So we'll have to see what is going to be here
Scrappy
for both.
Loves Overwatch. Thank you very much.
There we go. Scrappy does
Scrappy?
love Overwatch. Yeah.
He doesn't make much noise. he's a good dog.
Yeah, good boy indeed. We love that. We love that doggo content as we're waiting for the map to be started here very soon. We're just waiting on some production things to be sorted out here. But overall, you said it's been a very close series between MI7 and Reminiscence. Both of these teams have been back and forth throughout the entire series. Reminiscence did take that first map, and it looked the most dominant for them. Since then, MI7 has been drawing that line ever so closer every map they played. So it might be a matter of time. We'll see if Reminiscence are able to continue catching up, or if MI7 are going to start driving away and being able to take this victory for themselves, as we are going to be seeing the teams going to be swapping back over to the sides that they will be on when we enter Esperanza here very shortly.
Yeah, that being said, Esperanza is an interesting map in terms of it being relatively neutral amongst push maps. It's generally accepted that Coliseum is the map where we don't see much push happen. It's very, very neutral based. You're looking at a lot of fights around that central area, not much progress overall throughout the map. Whereas New Queen Street is kind of the opposite of that. The thing's built like Swiss cheese, and it's just as unstable, right? You push that map back and forth. You play ping pong with the robot a fair amount, and you'll see people make crazy overtime pushes. Esperanza lands very much in the middle of that, and I think momentum and being able to build it up and hold it here is going to be massive for these teams. Because on New Queen Street, it's kind of expected that you build momentum. On Coliseum, it's expected that it's practically impossible. But here it comes down to a kind of team ability and team skill to build that momentum. And I'm looking at players like Lore to see them through the tougher parts of the ultimate economy that sometimes it takes to get good cart progress on this map.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to come down to those critical picks on either one of these teams. Those critical players that have been making the impact throughout the entire series need to step up here on Esperanza, and the ones that do it better will be able to find their way into the advantage into this map. So hopefully we're going to head into here very soon. We're still waiting on the teams to get ready after that halftime break, but overall, it's going to be one heck of an interesting match, I say. If these past 3 maps have been any indication, we're still in for an amazing show tonight, and hopefully we go all the way. This does not seem like a series that should end in 5 minutes.
It's not stopping anytime soon. I mean, MI7 might win one more, but I don't think we go 2 maps without Reminiscence at least having some say in the results here. It is, of course, best of 7, so we do end up replaying that control map type at some point, which is going to be critical for Reminiscence, who looked dominant on it, to say the least. I think that was not just a map type that favored them in terms of playstyle, but one that I think they understood more thoroughly than MI7, and I don't think that was something I was like, oh, they're just warming up. It was, oh, just beginning of the series. It felt like Reminiscence just had a better understanding, and I don't think that's going to change the next time they play it.
Yeah, definitely. We'll have to see what Reminiscence is going to do here with those player swaps. We are waiting on some of the players for MI7 and Reminiscence. So while we're waiting for those players to come back, we're going to be jumping it over to a quick break. And when we come back, we'll be starting our 4th map of the series. We'll see you after this quick break. Welcome back, everybody, to our match for the Discord tier grand finals between MI7 and Reminiscence. After a situation where a player had to install Overwatch updates on a different computer, we are back here in the series, and now we are heading into Esperanza for our 4th map of the series. Bowsy once again joined here by Door. As we're about to see the compositions come out from both sides, it will be interesting to see what these two teams are planning as we head into Esperanza.
I mean, for me, I'm looking for some compositional swap for the map. I mean, Push is a very specific map type, and I think playing for that initial bit of the map is super duper important. But that being said, looks like we're getting a lot more of the same. Usually I come back out on the Tracer lore, this time not on a Sojourn, actually on a Reaper, so a small shift up for MI7. But in large part, we're really looking at that tank dynamic, right? The Orisa into the Hog, something that Sam has gotten a lot better at over the course of the series, but with Choi Soo-hwan coming back in on a new PC, who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah, anything could happen right now as the two teams start making their way towards the center. Reminiscence on the right, MI7 on the left. Now they're making their way in to the point. We'll have to see what the response is from both of these teams right now, just poking at each other. There's a kid on that Tracer just trying to poke out some more members as the Reborn falls extremely low, is rejuvenated up thanks to the help of Try and Glitch. But right now it's MI7 starting to take an aggressive push, and they're going to have control of that bot first, and they're just pushing Reminiscence back slowly.
I mean, that early pressure isn't everything. When the hook cooldown comes back up, that Roadhog gets a lot scarier, and it does for a moment, but Choi Soo-hwan will be pushed back inevitably, and this is the advantage of that Orisa, right? That more consistent pressure it offers up to the Hog. In the face of the Reaper, though, it can crumble if not played carefully. Sam goes down. Now I think we fall back to what we were talking about on previous maps. You got to look at Fungin and that Lucio to keep the Reaper and the Hog off of that Orisa when the cooldowns are down.
Yeah, that really is the key point here. Reminiscence now are going to be able to take advantage of that, and they start pushing the barricade into their favor here, Door.
Alright, it's only initial progress. It is Esperanza. It's not like Coliseo. This is not going to win them the map with just 5 meters, right? We're okay with this. MI7 just got to find a fight back in here, and they have plenty of ultimate charge to do it.
Oh, but they do not have their Lucio. Choi Soo-hwan once again has the deadly hook, has the deadly whole hog as well. Finds 3 in this fight, looking for a 4th on the Music Addict, and now Reminiscence. Pretty strong start here, and there's the 4th kill for Choi Soo-hwan.
Most importantly of all, they win that fight with 5 players alive. That means that they're absolutely going to get a full fight at the end of this point. If they get one at all, MI7 have got to engage this pretty quick. Kitsune should get them there if they use it off the top of this. It's a little tight timing-wise, but I think they're okay.
Yeah, we'll have to see MI7 now pushing in through the long way. The Kitsune Rush comes out here from both teams, but Choi Soo-hwan has already found the kill on the lure. A bad start here for the side of MI7. Ball spawn for Music Addict is followed up with that Terror Surge from Sam as Reborn and Seraph are now down, but Rocket is dead as well. The beat has to be forced out by Fungin to keep the rest of MI7 alive, and Sam is dropping very low. Choi Soo-hwan able to finish off that horse here as Reminiscence are still in it with Try, and Choi Soo-hwan staying alive and finding the picks that they need.
Alright, Choi Soo-hwan has just connected every hook, has done all the damage necessary. Laura's gonna die. It's a fancy death blossom, but it's not gonna do anything. I don't think Choi Soo-hwan was installing Overwatch updates. I think he was installing some external programs. I'm convinced of it. Look at this, man. Yeah, check that PC. Plugged in a USB real quick. He didn't swap over to another computer. That's the same IP address.
Where's Word.exe? Regardless, MI7 now, they find the first kill onto Reborn here as they're trying to make their way back into this and stop that bot from moving any further. Gonna force out that Suzu from Try as they continue to try to retreat here. Hog's gonna come out once again here from Choi Soo-hwan as MI7 still looking for the advantage. I mean, it's possible.
Reminiscence should keep fighting. They have an ultimate advantage like by a country mile, right? Yeah, and there they go. Regroup on the high ground. They actually want to look for this fight wisely. So Laura does have an opportunity to cut it short there. If you disconnect that one right click. It doesn't. Instead, down to the high ground. Death Blossom tries to see them through, but Fungin finds that pick. MI7 are slowly stabilizing despite having a massive disadvantage at the beginning of this fight.
Ooh, but they already have a massive disadvantage once again as Sam is now picked off by Reborn there. A lot of ults were used by the side of Reminiscence, but still MI7, they're going to have to crumble. And that bot is once again going in favor here for Reminiscence.
I love that regroup that Reminiscence did up on the high ground, right? Even though Seraph didn't get value out of the Death Blossom, it still was a fight that put them in a winning position. They pulled all the ultimates out of MI7. Unfortunately, they're going to be at a sport ultimate disadvantage coming into this fight, so they definitely didn't get the most out of that advantage that they could have. But if another hook connects from Choi Soo-hwan, who am I to say anything?
Yeah, Choice of One misses that hook, unfortunately, here as MI7 start making their engage. Here comes the net buster from Music Addict. Finds Glitch immediately. Choice of One gets the return kill onto that Reaper here, but MI7 are still finding the kills that they need. Sam picks off Seraph here. Fungin picks off Try, and Choice of One is sent back to the grave, courtesy of Lore. Same with Reborn. MI7 start pushing that bot, but they lost Sam in the midst of that.
That's not. I mean, Sam will get back probably about the same time as Choice of One. Because Choice of One died last for Reminiscence, so all in all, not the worst thing ever. Having the forward spawns, though, for Reminiscence actually does give them a contest. I was wrong. I miscalculated. I forgot about the forward spawns. Sorry, new game type. Anyways, Sport Ultimate Advantage for MI7. They should be able to win this forward a fight because there is just nothing in the tank here for Reminiscence. That is a really early container rush. Reminiscence should be able to disengage this. Yeah, they just back away. Very simple.
They use the whole hog as well to just force back MI7 and make sure that they can't get any forward value with that Kitsune Rush. Here comes the overclock coming out here from Lore, trying to look for a lot of damage and maybe some picks in the meantime. But Reminiscence just hide around the other side of this clock tower, and they're just keeping themselves in safe position. Fudge is going to try to keep them away from the bot, but now Reminiscence are on the opposite side of the field. MI7 are on Reminiscence's side. He comes out from Fungin to force the rest of the team forward. Sam uses the Terror Surge, looks for anything, doesn't find anything. But now the Kitsune Rush used here by Try, the overclock from Reborn. Ultra flying left to right, and now Reminiscence, they're getting the advantage.
Look, we said the advantage for MI7 in that fight was coming with Kitsune Rush and Sound Barrier. They spent so long on the cart trying to push it forward and force Reminiscence to engage into them that it allowed Reminiscence to actually build up Try and their Kitsune Rush that wouldn't have been in that fight otherwise. I think if MI7 had looked for that Sound Barrier engage onto the high ground a little bit earlier, perhaps when Choice of One had a whole hog down or had to take a breather down or the Suzu from Try was out, the opportunity would have been there, but that opportunity came and went, and now it's Reminiscence pushing the cart. They've got a Sound Barrier, Sport Ultimate advantage, and a real opportunity to get some distance.
Definitely do as Sam tries to push forward with the rest of MI7, but the whole hog is once again there from Choice of One to force them back. Reminiscence gonna still retreat though. Music Addict tries to go for the flank. Choice of One reads them like a music sheet, and Reminiscence still doing a really good job pushing the spot forward, finding any sort of contest they can.
Some great comms and awareness from Reminiscence now pushing forward. The last thing you want to have done here if you're MI7 is get staggered. Just do not eat a hook, whatever you do. Oh no! Oh, that's bad.
Didn't even eat the hook. Didn't even eat the hook, just ate the bullets from Hog. Yeah, pretty much. The hook wasn't even necessary, but Reminiscence still getting that kill in their advantage. Now using the Kitsune Rush. Rocket answers back. Here comes the Terror Surge from Sam. Doesn't find anything as the beat is there from Glitch to keep everybody healthy. Music Addicts going to the back line, looking for the flank, and we'll be able to find it. That's two with the Death Blossom. Tries able to finish them off, but still, MI7, they've already got two in this fight. Both DPS are gone from the side of Reminiscence, and it's going to be MI7 eventually taking this spot once again for themselves.
At what cost? I mean, we have gone quite the distance here for Reminiscence. They've played their ultimates extremely well. And I've got to give more hats off to Try. The Kitsune Rush usage from Try, the damage that we're seeing Try put out, this is a carry performance we're seeing out of a Kiriko. And sometimes it's hard to quantify that, but I've seen a lot of good Kirikos in my day, believe me. Try is certainly putting their bid in for one of them. This has been such a great showing, and now as the bot wraps around, Reminiscence look to retake their advantage. They've got ultimates coming up.
Absolutely. Takes the back line once again as MI7 start pushing that bot forward. Reminiscence looking for the first pick here, and that's a good one to start on. Reborn finds the railgun shot onto Lore. Forced out the beat here from Fungin as Reminiscence now popped the whole hog once again. Choice of One has been using these whole hogs off cooldown, it seems, just trying to keep MI7 at bay and keep them away from the spot, and it's gonna work. Sam and Music Addicts dead. Reminiscence back in control.
You say he's using it like a cooldown. That's because that's what it is to him. It literally comes up every 10 seconds. It's basically just another ability. Choice of One is putting out absurd amounts of damage on the Roadhog. It's becoming so hard. These little flank engagements that Reminiscence are taking, the high ground advantage that they have, the fact that Fungin's Sound Barrier really wasn't able to stabilize the fight for MI7, it's all made it the more difficult. This fight now, Reminiscence a massive advantage. Support ultimate charge, the overclock. If this one doesn't connect from Lore, it's going to be even more dangerous from Reborn.
Terror Surge comes in here from Sam, doesn't find a lot, only does a lot of damage, but Fungin is now out of the picture, and Reborn's overclock has already found two. Choice of One is gone, but Reborn is still pumping in the damage, and that Kitsune Rush Try is nothing but a cherry on top of the cake.
I am thoroughly impressed. I did not expect that out of a Discord tier team. The guts to Kitsune Rush in a fight where you've already lost your tank, where in most fights, like trading tank, you would consider it a loss. understood that the overclock pressure that Reborn put on was enough to win the fight if they committed to it, and committed it despite having their tank dead. That is an incredible mid-fight call from Tri to have the guts to go for something like that.
Now we see Sam switching over to the Roadhog and already doing a good job finding the kill onto Glitch here, eliminating the Lucio, which has the only ult that Reminiscence have on board right now. And now MI7, they've got the bot right back in their control, and they're starting to bring it back toward the center. But now only 30 seconds left here, Door. It's going to be difficult to push this bot to the end.
I mean, I said it. On Coliseum, this is impossible. On New Queen Street, I mean, it happens every other Wednesday. On this map, it's doable. But my God, is it hard. A little bit to get you through this. Notably, the Death Blossom from Music Edition.
Yeah, and already a big pick there from Lore. Already eliminates Glitch. Music is out of the pick. That Death Blossom is not going to be used despite his Choi Su-won just holding up on this high ground. The hook goes on to Seraph, but he does not die in the process. Choi Su-won goes for that very risky hook, but doesn't connect, and now Seraph and Choi Su-won are out of the picture. And MI7, they've got the barricade in their control, and they're starting to push it over time.
All right, MI7, you've started what is to be an odyssey, not a journey, an odyssey across this map, one that will be chronicled for years at this rate, because this robot pushes this block so damn slow. If they get there, it would be a miracle. They'll get a couple of ultimates to do it again. You're looking at Music Addict. The sound barrier of Glitch looks to be the trump card in this fight. Can they find a win?
Let's see. The hook goes on to Sam there, but he's able to survive it, and Choi Su-won gets picked out. Here comes the Blossom from Music Addict. All it's going to do is force out that Susan from Tri, but it's still going to push the rest of Reminiscence back as the checkpoint is capped for MI7.
Oh no, that's a huge pick.
No.
That is a massive pick onto Lore. Lore had the overclock. Lore has been the one to bail them out of every last one of these maps when he comes in on the Sojourn. What are you going to do now?
You're going to force out the hog here from Sam. The beat's also going to be used by Fungen. The sound barrier from both teams used here as the MI7 trying to stabilize on this spot. Overclock is popped here by Reborn, trying to look for anything here to be able to stabilize them. Music Addict finds the kill on the Seraph, but now Lore is back, finds the overclock shot onto Reborn and trying to turn it around here for MI7. Reminiscence are staggering one by one. Fungen is dead, but MI7 are still fighting the picks that they need.
How the hell is he doing this? How on earth? Okay, Fungen, I think, has had some relatively egregious barriers over the course of this match. Like, both Lucios have been on and off, some of them good, some of them bad. Sound barrier, literally perfect. Literally as perfectly timed as it could be. It's the only reason Lore got back in the fight. It's the only reason they have a chance here. No more ultimates pop, a dry fight, nothing but elbow grease, and a whole lot of heart here to work with for MI7.
Let's get the kill on the Choi Su-won to start off here. Choi Su-won pushing forward. The rest of Reminiscence, they know that they need to stop this bot here, but Choi Su-won and Seraph are dead! Lore's out of the picture though. Reborn is flanking in the back line, trying to finish it out here as the rest of MI7 still pushing this bot. And Music Addicts found Reborn! That's not good! All of a sudden, what was looking like an impossibility, over 100-meter difference, is now looking like it's gonna be an MI7 map win! They're gonna be able to do it! MI7 are going to match point once they deal with Seraph on this Reaper.
Oh my God, Bowsy, this is one of the best maps of Overwatch 2 I've had the pleasure to watch. The turnaround, incredible. Fungen the sound barrier, bro. Absolutely perfect. Every last bit of it. Sam coming in on the hog, something we haven't seen him play practically the entire series, making the critical swap, hitting a massive hook within the last fight. On top of Lore showing up and doing exactly what Lore does. Lore bailed them out on Circuit Royale. Lore bails them out again here at Esperanza. What can this guy do wrong?
This guy, Lore, I've said it the entire time. He has been a dominant force and has been the carry potential for MI7. Lore currently has a 100% match win rate this season, and he does not want to let that go to waste right now. And right now it's showing as MI7 are now at match point. One more map, and they take home the Discord Tier Championship over the Season 7 champions. But now, Reminiscence get to choose the next map in this series. They have to try and find a way to be able to do it. If MI7 are going to win this championship, they have to try and hold through this Reminiscence map pick, which is control between Ilios and Nepal here, Door. This is going to be a difficult task to do, though.
We've been over it. Control is the map type that we were looking at. Reminiscence to be the thing that got them back into this if all else fails. There have been a lot of wrenches having been put in the mix, though. Right? Sam's Arisa has gotten better at countering the Hog. Sam's Hog has been laid out on the table and is extremely difficult to deal with. Now the question is, how is Reminiscence going to respond? Do you tweak anything? Do you come back in the same way that you did in the first map and expect things to go the same? It's very, very, very difficult to play this situation. The pressure is on for this team. They've performed under that pressure before. So far, it's MI7. Like you said, match point.
Match point for MI7, and the choice for Reminiscence, their final map choice of the series, is Nepal. We're going to Nepal for what could be our final map in this series. Anguish is coming back in for Seraph. We saw Seraph on the last two maps, but now Anguish is coming back in on that DPS role for Reminiscence. So it's going to be interesting to see what this does here for the side of MI7, or for the side of Reminiscence, and how they're going to be able to fight off against MI7, because it's do or die. Lose this map, and you're done for the season. Win it, and you're still in it for the championship.
All right, I like this Nepal map pick. I think it plays into a lot of what we got out of Reminiscence. I don't think there's a map pick that was like particularly powerful for them. Obviously, most of the control maps are just neutral map picks in general. But with the way that the series is broken down, even more so, unless that is on Village, we get like a brawl composition. We've seen it a few times in contenders where teams just really want to play it. I think in Discord tier, that is more than welcome. Teams are very good at Rush at this level, and I think the coordination has been there for both these teams. If it's something they want to bring out, I'd be curious to see what the tank choice is for Reminiscence in terms of who's playing, because we have gotten that swap between Choice with Juan and Blood Hungry, who has been kind of playing similar things, but you have to suspect, right? With two tank players, somebody's got a Reinhardt in their back pocket, and if that's something they want to lean into to put a wrench into the works, to really change up the series, to pull the big shiny emergency lever on the wall and just throw everything that you have at MI7 in an attempt to change the outcome of the series, I don't think it's a bad shout.
It definitely is not a bad shout here, so we'll see what the move is here from both of these teams, what compositions they want to run, what heroes they want to run, because it's basically at the wire right now. MI7 have a chance to close this series out on Nepal. Reminiscence have a chance to extend it, so it's going to be all determining on how they want to approach this point. We're going to be getting into the map hopefully shortly here, as we do have a production problem, because obviously there is a bad storm.
That's my bad. That's my fault.
Yeah, blame
I shot
Dylan.
for one day, and we get prod issues. We'll fix them up and be right back after the break.
Yeah, no worries. I don't even think we need to go to a break, because we're
cooler than that?
No, I don't think so. Yeah, it's
okay.
just one person. It was only one person that hit a storm. They ended up getting, they had some problems over there. But we still have a handful of observers, which we will go into when we are finished with this production, whether that be in the next 30 minutes or tomorrow. But regardless of which, it's going to be one heck of a match that we're going to be seeing here, and we'll hope to see if Nepal will be another banger of a map to see here. And I mean,
there's no doubt about that. Every map
Yeah.
has been like, I can't believe it's only been 4 maps. I've had at least 8 maps worth of stress go on in my body right about now. So look, you talked about how we haven't had a finals go to whatever point yet. If it ends at 5 here, can we agree that it wasn't really just 5 maps of Overwatch we played?
Yeah, I think we can.
Just, like, mutually, we played Hybrid twice. We played Escort twice because they finished the map on all 4 fronts. East Bronze went literally the maximum distance, and then the control went to 3. Yeah, this has been just maximum extension of time Overwatch from these two teams, and for good reason. The play's just been incredible.
Yeah, it definitely has been incredible now as we're heading into what could be our final map of the series, Nepal.
Don't speak that into existence, Bowsy. Don't say it.
I hope I'm not speaking into existence. All right, I'll say it instead. We're going into our 5th map of the series, Nepal. There we go. Yeah. As now is Reminiscence. Their backs are up against the wall. MI7 looking to lock it down and take the championship before heading to 7. As now we see the compositions coming out here, as we're going to be starting, it seems, on Nepal Village. But right now, we see the exact same things we've seen from both sides, albeit some changes in the DPS position.
Play the Rhine, you coward! Play the Rhine! They're not doing it. It's okay. It's okay.
No.
I tried to will it into existence. It's not happening. We're sticking to all reliable. Sam coming out on the Orisa, the Hog for choice of Juan. I want to see Anguish bring out the Reaper again, or a Junkrat of their own. Something to control the space on this point would not be unwelcome. And there you go. Reaper swap immediately. As high ground comes in, both rollouts good, so the Junkrat doesn't net a massive advantage that he would have if they've got to hold that choke early. Ooh, speaking of advantage though, Fungin falls, and the damage mounting from the Junkrat and the Sojourn combined is just too much.
Yeah, really good pick there from Reborn, saying that he does not want, or they do not want to get shut out this early. Find 2 with that second kill on the lure. And that first cap is going to go to Reminiscence. Good start for them so far.
They can't be mad about it. It's something that they did extremely well. Not just first capping, but turning first caps into full caps.
Oh.
There you go, another pick on Music Addict. And this is the kind of thing that really gets percentage going.
Yeah, definitely. Reminiscence now another pick, another down. Choice to One is going to ruin Reborn's reign of terror. Gets that kill on the Rocket, but Reborn is still finding picks. They found another one on the Sam, and Reminiscence now 20% up on this point.
We're back up to our high ground, looking for more picks. Ultimate advantage significantly in favor of Reminiscence, though. This is getting dire for MI7. I'm not sure how you're going to see your way through this. Maybe you win the fight just really quick here, but the second that overclock comes up for Reborn, Sam's going to be on the back foot. A clutch hook here would be welcome.
Switching back over to that Roadhog, so a clutch hook is possible. No hooks landed from either Roadhog here. Reborn has this overclock online. It looks like Reminiscence want to try to engage with it as the Suzu is used here from Try. Here comes that overclock from Reborn, and already one pick. Fungin down once again to the hands of Choice 2-1. Reminiscence looking for more. Lore is now out of the picture. Glitch is down, so is Anguish, but it's still an advantage to the side of Reminiscence.
Hog out. Sam uses that ultimate, but Reminiscence still has more in the tank, right? We've got a Kitsunerish, we've got a whole Hog, and Reminiscence will hold on for that reason.
Yeah. It's going to be Reminiscence with the hold here. MI7. What do they do here, Door?
Cry and wait for the next sub map. You're really getting control. You're really getting Mickey Mouse map typed right about now. Like, this is the maximum control point pain that you're enduring. So many more ultimates are up for Reminiscence right now. And their control of the ultimate economy is just as good as it was in the first map of this series. They are just extremely good at managing that ultimate economy. Now, continue rush with Hog, same combo we saw in map number 1. That's the win, 94%. Yeah, it's been written down in the books long ago. The second that Reborn managed to not only win that first fight, but found the pick in the second one, it was all over. Reminiscence are an extremely good team, and for them, rolling that level of ultimate economy advantage into a map win is just not a difficult thing for them to do. So very well done. Extreme flashes of what we got in map number 1 are showing back up, which is great for Reminiscence because they look so incredible and so dominant on that map.
Absolutely. Map 1 was the map that Reminiscence took in this series, so Control, definitely their strong suit here. We'll have to see if they're able to keep it up here as we head over to Nepal Shrine. And MI7, they want to try to go back to that Tracer for Music Kit again here, Door.
I'm here for it. I liked it a lot. It put some pressure on the choice who won. Outside of that, it did just a solid amount of damage, so no complaints in that regard. I will say Sam sticking on the Hog is the thing that I'm most interested in. Rolling out on the Orisa, in theory, is better, but I think Sam has struggled a little bit with the cooldown management in that matchup, and the extra pressure that Anguish has been applying has been something that Fungin hasn't really been able to help out that much with. It's a very high-level concept to be able to peel for your Orisa like that with the Reaper, so I'm not expecting that out of, like, non-contenders. So that first hook is really what matters. It's the pressure from Choice who want to push Sam back, force him to re-engage through the main choke point, and eat all that damage from Chai.
Yeah, it's difficult when you get cooked first here. Sam unfortunately learns that the hard way. Now MI7 forced to retreat. The map cap, the point cap, once again goes in the favor of Reminiscence here as MI7 forced to retreat. Lore, however, is still looking for this high ground advantage.
I mean, it's a good angle to work with. There's no reason not to attempt it at the very least if you're Sojourn. Just has to wait for the team to actually make their way in beneath them, and that shot is going to be valuable. Music Addict as well. This little three-pronged dive, the triangle that we've got set up, is meaning to do a lot of damage, but they have to find the same target, and they can't do that. Instead, it's Lore who's dove onto by Reminiscence, and now this is where the difficulty comes in, right? Music Addict can't get anything done in the backline on his own, and yeah, frankly so in the face of Choice One, it's even more difficult. Reminiscence look just as strong here as they did before, and because they win this fight with no ultimates being used, we're in the exact same spot that we were last at, unfortunately, Bowsy, where Reminiscence have an ultimate economy advantage that is I mean, it's not as bad as it was last time, but it certainly does look like something they could carry through the map if they're not careful, if MI7 don't watch where they tread.
Yeah, definitely. MI7 have to be careful where they move in. They do have this overclock from Lore online here, so they have to be careful with that as Choice 2-1. Gonna pop the whole hog here to just force everybody back, and Reborn once again has found another railgun shot. Somebody
what a hook!
What a push from Choice 2-1 as well. Sam is able to eliminate Reborn and stop this reign of terror. Music Addicts also gets the kill on the Choice 2-1, and finally, MI7 find their way into the point. They just have to get rid of the scraps, Glitch being one of them, and now they're going to be finally able to catch this point for themselves, but already Reminiscence in one-fight territory when they claim the point from their own again.
And that's the scary part, but fortunately for MI7, actually won that fight sans ultimate, without having to use any of them. So, on that scale, they've actually kind of flipped things on their head. They shouldn't have been able to do that, but they were, and Reminiscence, unfortunately, just give them a few too many of those early picks with such a volatile composition. Now we're coming in, every ultimate in the world is on the table, and the kitchen sink's about to be thrown at this one. I have no clue what's going to go down, Bowsy.
Brace yourself for a GOATS moment as Choice 1 able to get the first kill here onto Sam. But Laura pops the overclock, the Blossom pop by Music Addict, gets the beat out here from Fungent. Glitch also uses their beat in the Kitsune ref and try, opened all of that up. But Reborn pops their own overclock, able to find two so far in this fight. Both supports now out of the picture here for MI7. They're trying to stabilize right now, but Reborn right now is just finding his clicks after clicks. Music Addict's gonna step on the point, but will be a swift end to Choice 1. Sam will get the kill into Reborn, but still MI7, they're in dangerous territory.
I think you put it best, Bowsy. That was a certified GOATS moment. And now, thanks to our sponsor, we can be brought to the next fight with not nearly as many ultimates on board. Look at the whole hog and a Death Blossom of Anguish. This is one-on-one mono-a-mono. The pressure that's going to put onto Sam, though, is immense, especially with Choice 1 coming up with one of his own.
Gotta be careful about this. If you are Sam, first gets the first hook and gets the kill on the try. But the Blossom from Anguish eliminates both supports. MI7 are supportless once again. Reminiscence, however, they're down 2 picks. One of them being their tank, but Sam is now out of the picture thanks to Reborn. Anguish gets the kill on the Music Addicts, and Laura will fall as well. Reminiscence, they do not want to go out yet. They take their second map in this series.
The name is very apt. I am reminiscing as well upon map number 1 because that looked exactly the same. As much as map number 1 went to 3, it was very much Reminiscence, largely in control of ultimate economy the entire time, and this looks exactly the same. They're in control of the ultimate economy. They managed to snowball it into map wins both times off the back of first fights into picks following those first fights. Beautifully. I have no complaints. It was exactly what you wanted. If you put them in scrims and then went back to VOD review and the coach was like, here's what I want you to do here, here's what I want you to do here, that flowchart would have looked exactly like their game plan that they just pulled out.
Yeah, definitely Reminiscence showing that they still have the willpower to stay in this matchup. And now it's going to be a tough task because they have to go through every single one of MI7's map picks if they want a chance to take this series. Starting off with the hybrid map pick, we've already seen Midtown, which was picked up by MI7 earlier. Now they have a choice between Parejo and Eichenwald.
I'm taking Ike 100% of the time.
Well, congratulations, because you're right.
Let's go! I have no clue. I can't see what Bowser can see right now, so I am really just guessing. Yeah, Ike for Laura for that long-range hit scan threat. It also offers you up to Hanzo, should Music want to play it, which I think great opportunity there as well. It plays better for the Arista than it does for the Roadhog. Lots of reasons to pick Eichenwald here. I think it is not quite as good as Midtown was for them, but certainly does offer up a ton of stuff. Escort, this is where things get dicey. If Reminiscence can make it through this map, if they, whatever scoreline, it doesn't matter, right? They go to Escort, Circuit Royale's out. That was the big problem. Like, once Circuit Royale's out of that Escort bat pick, you're like a lot less scared of Lure after that moment in time. Everything else there is relatively tame hit scan-wise, or at least not nearly as scary as Circuit Royale is. So, once that's gone, I think the next map pick for MI7, that 7th one that you talked about, yeah, they have to make it through both their map picks. The two good maps for them in Midtown and Circuit Royale are kind of off the table already, so that's not as bad as it may seem.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be interesting to see what MI7 can pull out here, because, again, they have to try and win one more map, and that map is going to be a map that they pick. So they have to really bring it all the way here against Reminiscence, and it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to be able to do it. Another interesting thing, we've seen so many player swaps throughout this entire series. No swaps heading into our map number 6. Both of these teams sticking with the exact same rosters they had since that last map. So we could see a very interesting storyline here that Reminiscence are able to take this back. But it's all in the hands of MI7's map picks, so it's going to be determined on how well both of these teams can do on Eichenwald.
Okay, so we know exactly what MI7 are going to do. Likely it's going to be a Sojourn. I hope it's paired with the Hanzo, personally. I wouldn't mind a Junkrat, some sort of high damage zoning character that's going to take away some of those corners that the Hog wants to peek and put a damage threat onto him. I don't think it's any surprise that Choi Soo-hwan is likely to come back out on the Hog. Maybe a tank swap is in order, but I don't suspect it's going to come out anytime soon on defense or the attacking side for them. It really just comes down to execution and then what DPS Reminiscence want to lock in. That's what I'm really curious about, because for them, the Hanzo's been here and there. I actually think they've looked very good on it. I can't remember who was playing it, but it did look particularly strong for them. And then on the backside, what they're playing alongside, it's likely the Sojourn, but there's a lot of options on Eichenwald.
Yeah, definitely. There are a lot of options here on Eichenwald. It is a very varying map, really. I know that was very bad vocabulary, but you know what? I'm trying to vary up my vocabulary too. Regardless of which, there are a lot of compositions that can work on Eichenwald. There's a lot of different things that can work. We could see the traditional compositions that we've seen from both of these teams throughout the entire time. MI7 playing Orisa, Reminiscence player Roadhog, or we could see something to throw off the enemy team, because it could be one throw-off that could throw off the entire agenda for a team. We saw MI7 do exactly that on Esperanza. They pulled out the Hog. The Reminiscence had not seen the Hog the entire time from MI7, and they walked away by pushing that cart over 200 meters to get to the end of the map. So really, there is potential here for MI7 to throw a curveball or Reminiscence to do the exact same and try to get the map victory here on Eichenwald.
I don't want a curveball for MI7. I talk a lot. I use this analogy of a big red lever on the wall that you can pull at any point in the series to just like try and throw spaghetti and see what sticks, to try the crazy swap that you think you need. I think Reminiscence are not at that point, especially after a map win, especially after feeling pretty good, especially after building some momentum and feeling like they're great with the Sojourn, the pressure that they were getting on the Hog hooks connecting. We don't need to pull a lever right there. Over on the side of MI7, I mean, you won the 3 maps prior to that, so like, you just chalk it up to it being control and then go win all the maps that you were going to win beforehand. So I don't think they want to pull that lever either. I think this is actually both teams wanting to stick to their guns, and it's going to come down to individual performance. We did look at the tank matchup a fair bit. Sam's ability to shut down the Hog has been on and off throughout the series. Some maps it looks really, really good. Some maps less so. A lot of that's dependent on the map architecture. I think Midtown was one that offered up some really great opportunities for Sam to shut it down and find some big terror surges on top of that. Eichenwald, that's a bit harder. And then we go over to the DPS matchups, and I mean, Lore and the opposing Sojourn have just been trading blows left, right, and center. But when it comes to the super mega clutch moments, Lore has been there just that little bit more often. And then the Reapers as well have been just completely back and forth. That is to say, maybe they come out as Hanzos. That head-to-head goes back to picks, but they've traded so effectively, and you start to see why this series is as close as it is, and why neither of these teams are really incentivized to change what they're doing.
Yeah, definitely is. Now we're heading into Eichenwald, our 6th map of the series. Again, MI7 at match point. They're trying to shut it out before they go to a map 7. Reminiscence trying to get that technical reverse sweep. They won the first map, then lost 3 maps after it, trying to get themselves a 2nd championship in Tranquility and join a very exclusive club of currently only 2 teams in Tranquility history that have won 2 titles in their lifespans as a name. But now you see, with Reminiscence on the defense, we're seeing the Hog once again, but Anguish is back on the Ash for the first time since map 2, I believe.
I was wondering what they were going to do. On MI7 side, like I said, I was a decent fan of locking in a Hanzo here. They're going to go with the Reaper. Still makes perfectly good sense. It's going to offer up a threat to the Hog, keep the Hog off of Sam. The Reaper is just as much a peel hero as it is a damage hero within this composition. Anguish, though, coming out on the Ash, it's going to function similarly to a Hanzo, right? You can poke damage from the Dynamite, potential kills when you combo with Reborn. It's going to look pretty good.
Absolutely. As MI7 start walking their way through there, met with the Dynamite of Anguish's Ash here. Now MI7 looking for the way in, and the way in is not by losing your Orisa immediately. That is the way to back out.
Happens to the best of us. Now you got to find your way back. They do manage to disengage nicely. Little advantage, but mostly it's time off the clock, and same goes for that. It's probably going to be time off the clock, but it does get Choi Soo-hwan 40% to that whole Hog, something he's been building relatively quick throughout the series.
Yeah, Choice Who Won has been building up whole hogs very quickly, whether it's taking a lot of damage and using the breather, or just getting a lot of damage. That, however, is not going to work. Gets javelined off the high ground now, and now MI7 are pouncing right on top of that Roadhog. Rocket gets the final kill onto Choice Who Won here, as now MI7 starting to push forward. Anguish, however, equals up the score, gets the kill on the Music Addicts, but now with Glitch and Reborn dying, it has to be MI7 capping this point for their own.
No, we've seen, I think, an extremely low number of mistakes from Try in this series, but a missed Suzu there really hurts. You've got to be on with that cooldown to keep Choice Who Won alive, and unfortunately it just wasn't quite there. Now they've got to defend point B. It is doable with the ultimates being relatively even on either side. We've got another neutral fight, and I think MI7 and Reminiscence should be looking for an early fight.
Yeah, definitely. MI7 right now going through the gate here. Reminiscence dropping down right on top of him. Choice Who Won notices the Kariko of Rocket, forces out that fade, so now Rocket is back with the rest of his team. The hook gets denied by the Javelin as well. Choice Who Won is just not having a fun time right now on this Roadhog, but MI7 still willing to push into this. Music Addicts
what are we doing?
looking for the flank on the Anguish. Reborn finds the kill on the Lure in the meantime, and now Anguish is out of the picture. Music Addicts, okay. Okay,
Oh, your
Music
team's
Addicts.
dying beneath you!
Yeah.
If he spawn camps, can I wait? Is he gonna spawn camp? That's kind of the only thing you can
think.
do back there. It would not be a bad call to go and spawn camp that.
We'll see. I
They
don't
just-
know where
they
Music
sent
Addicts.
Just the hog to help.
We'll see. Consider rushes come out from both sides here as the team's trying to find their way back into this. Overclock gets popped here by Lord. The beat comes out from Glitch. And now Reborn pops their own overclock. Gets the kill onto Lord with the help of Try. And it's going to once again be Reminiscence finally holding this card. Only 40 meters taken by MI7 so far. 4 minutes left from the time bank.
Okay, MI7, because they spent less there, should be in a pretty good position to actually get this one through. Take the next fight off the sound barrier advantage. If you don't win this fight, I've got a lot more problems. All right, Tracer 1v1. Oh, stay in the circle. Stay in the circle. Come on.
Stay in the
Can't
circle.
fight
Come
outside
on.
the circle. There we go.
All
Little one-on-one action. He's
Anguish,
blinks out.
Anguish, I think,
looking
what?
for his opponent, who just leaves. Decides, okay, I've got to drop a pulse bomb on this team. Yells Kobe on the way down. Doesn't connect on anything. I think hits half the Roadhog's health away at best. Choice Who Won now popping a whole hog, trusting his team to keep a live sound barrier to counter exactly that. MI7 need to find a way in, though. In the meantime, and Choice Who Won will go down if the engagement is successful.
Yeah, that's a good way in. Rocket finds that first kill to Choice Who Won, and now with Glitch out of the picture as well. You gotta retreat here if you're a Reminiscence. Now Reborn out of the picture. Try will follow. Anguish is the last remaining person just waiting for death. And it's gonna be MI7 pushing that cart once more as they head toward the Arches of Eichenwald.
Tried to slow things down for a little bit there at the beginning, but so far no problems for this team. A decently healthy time bank and a lot of opportunity here. This Terra Surge can do some funny things in this portion of the map. I don't think it's going to happen, but if somebody gets environmental, don't say I didn't talk about it. Ooh, the hook!
Hook is there. Here comes the pulse bomb from Anguish. It doesn't land onto anything, or at least the Suzu is there to cleanse it up. Terra Surge from Sam doesn't find anything, but now Choice Who Won finds an impactful kill onto Fungin here. Lore gets the railgun shot onto Anguish, however, and now it's found 2. Now it's found 3. Lore once again popping up in the kill feed when it matters the most. Make that 4. Do they get the ace? No, they don't. Music Addicts takes it away, but MI7 now we're going to be sailing that cart into the castle.
So that was phenomenal by Lord, don't get me wrong. I'm going to give a ton of credit to Sam. That Terra Surge split the Roadhog, the Lucio, and the Kiriko into 3 different area codes. They all fled in different directions, and it made them so much easier to pick off for Lord.
Yeah, definitely there is potential here for that Terra Surge getting a lot of value, not just in kills, but also in value. Pulse Bomb from Music Addicts is a whiff. That's 0 for 2 in this map. I'm going to keep track as we continue forward.
I mean, you can't do that to my guy. You can't do that to Music Addicts. Don't.
Fair. I won't do that.
They got 3 minutes. Look, they're doing great. I'm proud of you, Music.
Fair enough.
Sound barriers in for Glitch, though. Should they use it?
Well, they probably don't need to since Sam is out of the picture. Anguish switches over to the Junkrat now to just pump in the damage, and MI7 forced to retreat outside of the castle because of it.
Again, they know that Tracer's back there, but Music Addicts doesn't form such a threat when you have the Junkrat to kind of zone it away. Everything's there. Music Addicts can ice space, but isn't farming pulse bombs in this time, isn't looking for picks, just waiting for the team patiently, who have a Kitsune rush and an overclock in hand. This is a great opportunity.
Absolutely, but the whole hog is there from Choice Who Won. I believe it almost knocks Rocket off the map. Just barely able to survive there is Rocket. Reminiscence, however, they're still pushing forward, and Reborn finds the kill onto Fungin. Once again, it feels like Fungin's been a very bad first pick here for the side of MI7, and it happens so many times.
Meanwhile, Music Addicts is certainly not having fun. The push forward for Choi Soo-hwan nearly punished by a terror charge. These trades back and forth, though, I like a lot for Reminiscence, right? If nothing else, it's pulling time off the clock. You're still fighting in the same place. The car's not getting any progress. So you can trade these all day. Look at the time bank. We're down from 3.5 minutes to now 2, and practically nothing's happened.
Yeah, pretty much. Reminiscence are just burning off this time bank right now. They've cut that time bank in half since the castle doors were breached. As MI7 looking for the way to engage. They had Music switch over to the Junkrat as well here just to pump in more damage so that they're matching Anguish in the neutral game. As MI7 make their way right back to the main. They took a long way in, but the beat comes out here from Bungeon to engage. As now here comes the tire from Anguish. It has to be big to shut down this push. And it finds Laura. A big pick indeed as the overclock was used. Now MI7 down in ult, down 2, and they're down out of this fight.
Yeah, Reborn's going to come in and clean this one up. Absolutely no problems for them. Advantage still in Reminiscence's hands. A minute 25 to burn off of this clock. And Reminiscence, like we said, now one map off of their own match point. Would feel so good about stopping this thing before C. We have to note, in all of the Escort and Hybrid maps before this, the cart has made it to the end of the map for both teams. So it is expected that they finish, but at this rate, Reminiscence are going to shut that pattern down.
Yeah, it seems like Reminiscence do not want any more extra innings in this show. As now a minute left for the MI7, and they're still losing people one by one. Music Addicts now out of the pick. Try gets trapped, but gets immediately out of it. Saves himself from the clutches of Sam, and right now, it's looking difficult for the side of MI7.
Looking difficult, but not over. Reminiscence had a support ultimate advantage, but MI7 could break it at any point. We know Lord to be clutch in this engagement. You're looking for the Kitsune Rush. You're looking for that Junkrat.
Kitsune Rush comes out here from Rocket. Same with Tries. Here comes the whole hog from Choi Soo-won. Burns Music Addicts to the ground. Anguish finishes the kill on the Bungeon, and now Lord is out of the pick as well. Here comes the Terror Surge coming out from Sam. Finds the kill on the Reborn. And all that's left is Choi Soo-won trying to get that pick off on the Rocket, but Sam is there to save the day. And MI7, they've got control of this car. 10 seconds left.
But what about the spawns are closer for Reminiscence, and on top of that, if they just buy enough time here, even especially after a pick, if they just buy enough time, buy yourself time for that sound barrier, you have a guaranteed win here. But they're not even gonna do that. They push in with the overclock. That's more than enough to see them through this. But the damage from Reborn, a confident step forward. Reminiscence, stop this card before it reaches the end of the map.
Yep, and that is a first. Finally, no overtime round in a map here. Reminiscence have finally turned this down up to an 11 and don't want to get sent home without a championship. 50 meters taken by MI7, which is around the final bend of Eichenwald Castle, but still, you really would have had, well, you really want a lot more if you're MI7.
Yeah, considering the pattern that we had earlier of both teams managing to finish the map every single time, sometimes with time bank, sometimes without. That really does feel painful to be the first team to not be able to. And now the question is, how do you want to play this defense? I'm looking at the Hanzo. Music Addicts is doing a solid job on the Tracer. Like, there's not much more I could ask for, but sometimes when you're playing Tracer, you'll go to the final flank, you'll set yourself up, and then you'll just watch your team like get picked off on the engagement like 10 times in a row, and you don't really get to do anything. I think that's the situation that Music Addicts was in for a large majority of that game, was just getting zoned away, watching his teammates die, and then just continuing to sit in the backline and do not much of anything. Now, comes in on the Pharah. This is, again, a similar role to the Hanzo in that it's going to zone away a lot of things, do some splash damage, and play very well around these corners.
Yeah, definitely. This Pharah from Music Addicts could mean the difference maker here. Reminiscence, Anguish, and Reborn. I mean, Anguish probably could switch over to that Ash, which we could see some of here. As Reminiscence right now in the spawn room showing exactly what they showed us here on the defense, albeit Anguish once again switching up its hero pool, trying to fill out his bingo card as they come out of the spawn room and notice the Pharah right on top of the rooftops of Eichenwald here. Now they need to try to plan their engage, and Anguish is actually going to switch over to the Echo here. Going to go for that airborne duel, albeit Anguish does not have a pocket in behind him to keep him alive, so we'll see. Works in their favor. Choi Soo-won starts the engage, misses the hook, and has to force out the breather there. But MI7 right now, they're just looking for the value. That far in the air is just causing the rest of Reminiscence to take a bit to push in. But Try! What a pick finds the kill on Effulgent. The Mercy pick is out of the picture. Music Addict answers back with 2, and now the Mercy, Try teleports in, has to try and finish off something, but Reminiscence still, they're in the driver's seat with the picks on the right side of your screen, and because of that amazing pick from Try, first point goes to Rem.
Try's not human. That Mercy was flying, dude. The number of first picks we're seeing out of this Kiriko are quite frankly insane, and last picks at that, both important stats. We in contenders we tend to track final blows as a metric for Kirikos that we deem to be very important, and it continues to be here. It looks so good. That Hog's actually gonna jump right back down here. He's actually kind of okay. That did look scary though, I'll tell you that much. Now it's scary for Sam though, as he's taking a lot of damage. Cart will open the door, but this early fight doesn't result in anybody toppling over.
Absolutely. Music Addict already switching off to the Hanzo here away from that Pharah, so we'll see if it makes any sort of difference here as MI7 looking for the right moment to push forward. They're close to this Terror Surge. Overclock is almost up as well here, so they have to use them accordingly in order to try to find the value that they need. Anguish on this Echo is looking for the flank, goes up to the high ground, shoots those sticky mines right into the DPS, but Rocket finds the first kill onto Glitch. The support, one of the supports down for the side of Reminiscence, and now with Try out of the picture, you have to retreat if you're Reminiscent.
So it's not... it's obviously not good for the team that just lost fight, right? Reminiscence are certainly feeling it, but they got a corner for free. MI7 didn't contest that cart early enough to stop it before the corner, and so now you'll see they have to kind of fight back. No. Only one player can stay ahead of this, unless they buy enough time for the cart to just push back around the corner in reverse, which would be kind of funny. With Anguish down, they certainly bought some of that time.
Yeah, I said oh no because Anguish was killed in the spawn room. Music Addicts got the spawn room hit with the storm arrows and was able to eliminate the Echo early here, but now Reminiscence is going to be rushing straight into the castle. They want to try to take this high ground away from MI7 and make it known, and already Choice Yuan finds the perfect pick onto Lore. The Dragon Strike and the Terror Surge come out as a combo, but it's unable to find anything as the whole hog also pops here by Choice Yuan with the Kitsune Rush, and Reminiscence, they're finding more picks than MI7 on average.
This is not just on average, this is better pathing. I Reminiscence, understanding that especially with that overclock on board, Lore had to be dealt with. Oh, and he's been handily dealt with again. First, Juan playing this beautifully positional, taking away that high ground, understanding the importance of it, understanding that Sam couldn't really be up there at that point in time because he had to contest cart. Now with Hanzo disconnected with a hair's worth of HP, this last hold is going to be so hard. Glitch has a sound barrier to counter this.
Yep, Kitsune rushing B come out here from MI7 and Reminiscence respectively. Music Addict looking for a pick in the backline, but Sam loses their duplicate and Anguish loses their duplicate and loses their life, but Reborn finds the pick onto Lore, eliminating that overclock here. Reminiscence still have the damage advantage, and that is clear with Music Addicts and Sam out of the picture. Reminiscence are going to barrel down those barriers like they're nobody's business.
Oh, you look at the crosshair Reborn. The way Reborn, I've seen this before. I've seen this many a time before. It may not be something you see as a first-time viewer. It may not be something you see as a first-time caster. But when you watch as much Overwatch as I do, the way Reborn's crosshair is flying around his screen frantically, just players feeling themselves. They know exactly what they're doing. They're playing confidently, and they are hyped up for this game. As long as they can maintain this momentum, they are going to be in a stellar spot.
Music Addict is stuck in the other spawn room, but is able to escape by the limb of their life. Choice Yuan gets trapped. What a trap from Music Addict to trap that Roadhog in place. Anguish, however, able to finish them out. It's still possible for Reminiscence to come back into this fight with that tank disadvantage, as Anguish on this Junkrat can just pepper in the damage onto the tank, onto the DPS, onto anybody in his range. That Choice Yuan also running back. Terror Surge from Sam. All it's going to do is just separate the members of Reminiscence, make sure that they don't even touch the card here.
Overextending! Oh no!
Oh no! And now Sam out of the picture!
They forgot about the hog spawning. It's really easy to forget about spawn timers like that, but tracking spawn timers is so important for that reason. Choice Yuan comes in and eats Sam for dinner. What do you want to do though? 3 minutes on the clock, just 5 meters to push such a difficult position. Without the hog, Reminiscence are just going to disengage away from this sound barrier. A very wise move.
Yeah, definitely a good move coming out here from Reminiscence. Anguish stuck in the small room, gets headshot by Rocket thanks to the help of that kunai. And now MI7, they have control of this cart once again. But as you mentioned, 3 minutes. They have to hold for 3 minutes, Thor. That is very hard to do.
Look at the ultimates too. It's dire. It's dire for MI7. You throw in Kitsune Rush, you layer beat on top, you guarantee yourself a fight win. I do not see any other way for this to go. There's the Kitsune Rush out of MI7. Reminiscence should just match it and throw in sound barrier.
Or they can just disengage entirely. Choice to one will fall, and now you take
died.
I mean, hey, you kept your support ult for the next fight. You can engage with the beat and the Kiriko also. Reminiscence in a pretty good spot. They still have 2 minutes.
To be fair, there's not many outcomes of that fight where, like, Reminiscence still lose. You still have 2 minutes, you still have a massive advantage. It's still a positive outlook. Try, down. You use your ultimate! Press Q! Sound barrier's in! Okay.
Oh,
now
no!
Reminiscence want to push. Overclock used by Reborn. They've still got the time to finish this thing out and pick off the stragglers. They should pop that tire relatively soon. They need to pop this tire from Anguish. Just guarantee yourself.
Get it out. Be popping the tire. Here comes the move. Going for the backline. They want to get out in front.
Anguish went down. Rocket managed to pick him off while he was in the tire form. He didn't play strictly enough around that corner and got punished for it. Wait, this is very doable for MI7. They've got to fight pick. Terra Surge is down. Good Suzu keeps Glitch alive. Wait, Glitch! Glitch! What?
No!
Hit the red circle, bro! You get out of the red circle or you die! You could have been out of the red circle. 0.6 meters. MI7 have a chance, and it's been handed to them on a silver platter.
That is not good if you are Reminiscence. That was very winnable. The Suzu was there from Try. Everything fell into place, but Glitch stepped one pinky toe in the wrong area and ended up costing their life for it. So now Reminiscence in a tight spot. They do have this whole hawk from Choi Su-won. We've seen Choi Su-won do miraculous things with this, even without the Kitsune rush. So we'll see if it works into the favor here for a Reminiscence now as MI7 peek around the corner. Choi Su-won needs to look for a big hook to turn the tide here of battle. Only sees Sam right now. There comes the hook right onto Sam. Pumps in the damage. Forced out to fortify. Now the whole hog comes into play. Trying to find anything right now. Trying to find a pick. Trying to find the separation. MI7 start to back up. They start to touch back on the card again. No kills resulted from either side here. Lore trying to find any picks as well here as MI7 right now just trying to stabilize with Reminiscence right in front of them.
Rush is coming up. Sound barrier for Glitch. Which one hits the floor first?
Oh, Rocket will hit the floor first. Anguish finds the first pick in this fight. That could be disastrous. Sponge has to pop the beat here, but Sam is now out of the picture. Reminiscence are making this possible. They're going to be bringing us to a map 7 in our grand final series.
Oh my god, Glitch, the savior for this team in that moment. The sound barrier, beautiful. The Kiriko goes down. We talked about which of those fortresses is going to come first. The fight went long. They survived the whole hog, and it all came down to the support. Beautifully played by Reminiscence. They made it a lot closer than it needs to be, though. You can tell where the nerves are coming in. I mean, a fight ago, all it would have taken is just Kitsune Rush, sound barrier, just throw the kitchen sink at the fight. All you need is to kill like 2 things, and it's just guaranteed. There's nothing the other team could have done about it. And in the midst of all the chaos, in the midst of all of the pressure that's on them, but our opportunity did slip from their fingers. They had to go to the next fight, which was a lot harder, but they still found their way through it, all the way to a map number 7, Bowsy.
There is indeed. It is a map 7 for the 2nd season in a row in our Discord tier finals. We're going to a map 7 between both of our finals teams. But what a performance we've seen for both of these teams, regardless of the outcome. MI7 have been biting tooth and nail through all of it. Reminiscence as well, biting tooth and nail. None of these teams giving an inch to the other. It's all going to come down to our final map of the day. It's going to be an escort map chosen by MI7 here. That is going to determine our Discord tier champion. It's all coming down to this score, and the map in choice from MI7 is Dorado.
I think it's a neutral map pick again. I mean, it plays pretty well for the Hog. It plays decently for the Orisa. I think if Anguish wants to run the Ashe, this is a fantastic opportunity to. In fact, I think in having already gotten rid of Circuit Royale, the pick choices were slim for MI7 in terms of picking things that work well for them. Dorado, though, does look good. I'm curious to see if either of these teams run dive. Neither of them have offered it up thus far in the night. That would put a massive fork in the road for them. It is yet to be seen. Normally I just predict dive to come out, but with the way these teams have been playing and the level that we're getting from them, I would not be surprised to see everything stay the same, and especially considering that if that Winston comes out, it has to contend with the Roadhog, the kind of theoretical counter to it. Yes, it's on a map that's great for Winston, but still, it's not easy to play into.
It definitely is not easy to play into, as this map could determine it all. Dorado could be a pick for either side. This definitely is a neutral pick, considering that MI7 I mean, Circuit Royale was already picked up. Maybe that was the strat all along. Reminiscence come back on control and now force away Circuit Royale. So now you have to go to a map that may not favor the enemy side. So this could be a really close match here between both of these. This map goes for all of them. So we'll have to see what the move is going to be here from the side of Reminiscence and MI7. What they're going to run on this map, and how either one of them is going to take home the championship.
I am yet to cast a Discord tier, or a Trank final for that matter, that has not been an absolute barn burner. And I know casters use that word a lot, and we tend to use it loosely. It is what it is. We call things bangers all the time. This is, in the truest sense of the word, a banger. Every one of these maps has been so tight, and you can feel the evidence of the series go back and forth. The compositions have hardly changed. It's simply the mechanical performances that we're getting out of these players that are just top tier. Choice Juan's Hog has been phenomenal. Sam has had some great moments. All of the DPS saved fights for their teams. The bound barriers from the Lucios have been incredible throughout the series. We've had some major ones, especially looking back at Esperanza, which was so important for their absurd push that they managed to get through that. And I gotta give a huge shout out to Try, who I think has just been a force of nature in this lobby for either team to actually have to contend with. Lore has been doing extremely well, has had some good maps, but Try has been there every single map, and for me has looked just a cut above in terms of quality of play today. And if you go back through the maps, right, that initial win from Reminiscence, going into hybrid, where yeah, it did look rough, and then we had both teams finish the map. We played 2 rounds there, we played 2 rounds of Escort, we go back to push, where we get that stupid comeback that somehow MI7 managed to pulling that into another map for Reminiscence that just swung back immediately, flipped the series on its head, and all of a sudden we're here. Ozzy, 7 maps deep and nowhere else to go. We are crowning a victor after this.
We are crowning a victor unless we get the very rare instance of a draw and Escort, which I swear to God, if it does happen, someone in the production chat is getting yelled at for the rest of the night. So it's going to be one heck of a showdown as we're heading into our final map of the series. No matter where, it is going to be this map that ends it all here on Dorado. So we'll have to see what the move is going to be. We might not be going in yet, but we will definitely be going in later.
And the question again lies on the big shiny red lever on the wall. I've talked about it earlier. At what point do you hit the panic button? At what point do you change your composition? At what point do you take a risk? Neither of these teams have shown any intention of doing so. Neither of these teams have even hinted at a dive. Have thought about the concept of jumping on a player. Do either of them lock in the Winston?
Well, right now, Sam is in the spawn room. It could be the potential here. Reminiscence coming out with...
This is a commitment.
Yeah, this could be a commitment from MI7. We'll have to see if it works, as Reminiscence coming out with the same composition we see them, albeit Anguish on the Ash, which is normal, but Reborn now on the Tracer here, instead of on that Sojourn, which we've seen them on so many times this series, Door.
I'm here for it. I think the Tracer plays well. It's just good all around. It's going to have to go into Music Addict, who's been wanting to play this Tracer the entire series. I think Music Addict has a good Tracer, it just hasn't really been leaned into by the team. They haven't really played for it, so we haven't gotten to see it pop off. Now, when paired with Sam and hopefully Funjin diving in with them, it'll mean good news for MI7.
Now, Reminiscence holding up on this high ground, just pumping in the damage. Anguish gets that dynamite online. Lore currently on the Widowmaker, trying to find a pick. The big hook coming out from Choice One. Doesn't find the kill on the Rocket here, but that dynamite's going to do a lot of damage to the Ana there, as Reminiscence still trying to hold this ground. Reborn has found somebody in that area, but Lore finds the headshot onto Anguish, eliminates the major damage threat. And MI7 now, they're going to start moving that card.
Push to get the play underneath the Hog. A little bit of a threat here, and they don't have much to actually deal with it. Remember, the damage threat that Music Addict is to this Hog is a non-factor. It's Choice One who just doesn't care. The sleep in the anti, though, much bigger problems. You're putting a lot of pressure on Try, but Try is very good. immediately cleanses that anti-nade. The Kiriko has been so on point. Literally, I can remember the mistake that Tri made because Tri has only made one mistake. It was a singular missed Suzu earlier on in the game. Choice Juan, though, going down this time, as that Suzu was already used, means a little bit more disaster. Rocket takes him down. Music Addicts continues to apply the pressure.
Yeah, Reborn's also applying the pressure here to Laura, who has that infra sight online. Will be able to finish out the fight, but what did it cost them? Look at the point. It's still moving forward. It's Sam on the point right now, the lone monkey, currently pushing this cart forward, driving it through the streets of Dorado. Gonna have to retreat now as Reminiscence come back, but Music Addict is still getting picks. Finds the pick onto Reborn. Choice Suwon gets slept once more, gets anti-nated. Suzu gets forced out. Pulse Bomb comes out, doesn't find anything. MI7 are still committing into this fight, and they still want to try to win this, but Nano Boost is even coming out here from Rocket. Same with the Kitsune Rush coming out here from Tri. The rest of MI7 and Reminiscence, they don't want to give a single inch to the other side. Now the Primal Rage from Sam just gets burnt to the ground thanks to that whole hog, and Reminiscence will get a hold on this card.
This fight looks so impossible. Reminiscence. Early on, the Suzu gets forced out by an anti-nade. The amp was already used by the Lucio to keep Choi Soo-hwan up. Reborn had been picked off early into the fight. The hook missed. It looked like they had nothing. And then the Kitsune Rush whole hog. Didn't you remember why that's just a ridiculously powerful combo? MI7 just ate it.
7 did eat it, and now they're switching up their comp once again. The Sojourn, the Roadhog, and the Kiriko all being swapped onto here. Now they're starting to make their way through the main streets of Dorado here, trying to find anything to find them into this advantage. Choi Suwon drops extremely low. The Suzu and the Beat both forced out here as MI7 immediately retreat from the fight, but Laura might be getting the hard way out. Almost gets killed out by Choi Suwon, but the support is there. Reborn's going to send Music back the hard way, but MI7 still a pretty good retreat.
I mean, a pick's a pick. You'll take it. The time off the clock. The cart has been stagnated. And we haven't seen it because it looked like MI7 had been making progress. There's only a minute left on the clock, Mousy! There's only a minute left on this could be bad. This could be very, very bad. Whole hog is coming up for Choi Soo-hwan, who again has just outpaced Sam in terms of ultimate by absurd amounts. Now they're trying to hold this choke, make sure this cart goes even further back onto the Cargo MI7. One last try.
Music looking for the stick. What a stick on the try. Now the Kiriko out of the picture. That's a trade into the step. Choi Soo-won has the whole hog, but gets burnt down by Laura as well. Reminiscent, they're going to have to give up this first point eventually, as now Reborn and Glitch will fall. First point to MI7.
I thought the whole hog might have done it. If Tri was still there to keep... If Tri had not gone down to the Pulse Bomb, Tri would have been there with the Suzu to keep him alive. Which is so terrifying, right? Because then that whole hog goes off, it all goes differently. But that opening Pulse Bomb from Music Addict, incredible start to the fight, really enabled everything to happen. That being said, all the time was ripped off the clock. Won't be as difficult, especially playing hog into hog. You have nothing to contest this high ground. It's Music Addict can like attempt to, but it's feeble at best.
As Reborn into the backline gets the stick onto Laura. Laura out of the picture. Rocket fell earlier. Reminiscence already establishing themselves on this cart once again. MI7 already back to the spawn room. They want to recuperate for this next fight. Big hook on the Choi Soo-won to force out the Suzu though.
No recuperating. We're fighting. We're fighting. We're playing Overwatch, Bowsy. Map number 7. No breaks.
Okay, fine. The Kitsune Rush.
Down goes Rocket. We've been fighting this whole damn time. Anguish looking for more. Function follows up on that. MI7 will progress this cart.
Yeah, what a good quick reset there from MI7 to get themselves back in, use the Kitsune Rush to re-engage and catch Reminiscence off guard here. Now MI7 starting to push through once again through the streets of Dorado. Reminiscence want to take the way through the bank, go up to the high ground, and start taking the advantage there. Her Music immediately sees them and retreats from position. But what a hook again from Sam! Brings Choi Soo-won down in the low ground, and now the whole hog is forced out from both Roadhogs. The Kitsune Rush is there for trying to make it even more lethal on the side of Reminiscence, but MI7, they're just going to back out, wait for that Kitsune Rush to wait. The hook, but waits his life for it! That's not good at all! The beat from Glitch is there, but it's already too late. Reminiscence is still willing to try to hold this. Anguish is close to Bob, but I don't see the advantage of that as MI7 is just going to find the picks and push his cart to B.
The sound barrier from Glitch. They may be feeling the repercussions of that one for a while. Again, Function and Glitch, I think both have been extremely off and on with the sound barriers. They're either perfect or they are just completely useless, and it lands tails in that moment. They wish they had a re-engage, but they might be all right. Laura goes down to the hook early here. Choi Soo-won looking for more. The hook connects on him. The stabilization is there. Glitch comes in, helps the team out, and makes up for prior errors.
Yeah, 30 seconds now on the clock here for MI7 door. It's a tough task, but still possible with what they have in the bank.
All right, MI7, 29 seconds. You've got to get a quick touch. And Roadhog certainly is not a great character at doing that. They have a Kitsune era should they get through, though. If MI7 can reach this card in time, in fact, they may have reached the promised land. A Bob could make things a little bit difficult, but the ultimates coming up after that for the red side are numerous.
We'll see. MI7 make their way to the point. Music Addicts is looking for the flank kill. Anguish has this Bob online, so he's got to watch his ass as the Bob comes out. Sam gets melted down by Choi Soo-won. So much damage layered on top of it. The pulse bomb is there for Music Addicts, but the touch is not. The cart will stop right outside of Lumerico Factory, as now Reminiscence, they have a goal in sight.
Reminiscence have given MI7 a taste of the same medicine they got in the last map. Stopped before the end. Again, the entire beginning of this series was predicated on both of the teams finishing the maps, of obscenely long maps of Overwatch, with defensive failures and offensive clutches. Not anymore. Reminiscence has put a hard stop 2 times in a row to the escort pushes of MI7. And now all they have to do is reach that yellow box. There is no draw on the table. There is no nothing available. MI7 either digs their heels in, finds it within themselves to clutch this map out here, or Reminiscence complete what will be a historic run through Discord tier to claim a second title.
It's noteworthy to say the last time Reminiscence won a championship was in Season 7, and it played out very similar to how their season went this time around. In Week 3 of Stage 1, Reminiscence lost their only game of the season, and they went on to go undefeated since and go on to win the championship. Now the stakes are at that exact same moment, albeit much higher, as MI7 on the defense are coming out with that Winston composition. Reminiscence showing the same style we've seen them on this entire season. As Reminiscence come out, they are only 92 meters and a point away from taking this championship away from MI7. MI7 looking for the perfect opportunity to engage here with this dive defense.
On defense on this map, your opportunities are practically limitless, right? You can run almost anything. You could run the Orisa, you could run the Hog. MI7 saw the shiny, alluring lever on the wall, and they yanked it. They put Sam back in on the Winston. It hasn't paid off. Now floundering, the swap comes out to an Orisa. Things are looking dire for the team in red as they bleed not just health bars, but ultimate charge the way of Reminiscence. That is fuel to the fire that this team wishes to burn and continue their push.
Music Kid able to get the kill onto Anguish, however, trying to finish out Try. Forces out that protection Suzu here as the cart doesn't move anymore. Reminiscence are looking for Music Kid in the backline. They don't notice that the cart is taking control of here by MI7.
Not a big deal. I mean, it's stabilization, but they have to wait for that 5th player to come up anyway, so might as well hunt down the Tracer in the meantime. That misses, though, and now the hook is what you're looking at. You're looking for those first picks.
Choi Soo-won misses the first hook here, as Sam being able to stabilize on the cart with Fungin in the pocket right now. We're also switching over to the Hanzo here. What a sleep on the Glitch! Glitch got slept somewhere. It's not going to be able to make an impact, but still the sleep from Rocket could have made the difference there as Reminiscence now trying to push forward. Choi Soo-won gets absolutely battered with everything in the kitchen fridge right now, but Reborn is able to find Fungin. Reborn finds another. Reborn is starting to pop up when it matters the most, and it's going to give Reminiscence his first point.
That's exactly what they needed. And again, dude, Try is just unstoppable. Reborn had some fantastic follow-up, but the pulse bomb landed, was going to hit the Roadhog. The Roadhog's health bar was practically at nothing. MI7 put all their attention on him, and right before Choi Soo-won goes down, the Suzu hits. It buys space, it picks the health bar back up, and Reborn punishes all the out-of-position members of MI7. Now we hit point B. The end may be upon us.
And could very well be upon us. MI7 do have the tools to try and turn this around. The Dragon Strike and Terra Surge on our line. Here comes the Dragon Strike coming out from Lore. It has to connect onto something, but all it will do is just separate the members. But that's good, because Reborn is now out of the picture. Sam has this Terra Surge if it comes down to dire straits, but right now Reminiscence are backing out of this fight. They're ready to re-engage once Reborn's back in the picture.
And it's that bottom Anguish!
Oh, no!
Minor overextension here by MI7. You don't, didn't have his shit to get out. It's okay. Now in goes the Terror Surge. Glitch knows wiser this time. Gets out of it. Unlike over on Icon. What? No! You did that twice! There's no way you made the same mistake! Oh, no.
This seems to be a glitch in the system, and Sam has exploited it perfectly, finding 3 and turning that fight around for MI7. That looked dire, though, Door.
It's still okay for Reminiscence. Look, the timing's huge. They've got 4 ultimates. This map is far from gone at this point, but it certainly does look a little bit better for MI7. That Kitsune Rush is going to be a difficult tool to use. Maybe they can disengage with it.
Well, Kitsune Rush used here from both sides. Rocket and the whole hog is also used here from the side of Reminiscence, and it's just burning down the members of MI7. One by one, they all fall, and that cart is getting closer and closer to the golden box of victory, Door.
Now it comes down to brass tacks. Fungin could build up a sound barrier if this goes a little further. Reborn will do everything in his power to make sure it is short, quick, and extremely painful for MI7, who don't have a tool to counter the overclock.
Gonna be interesting here as Reminiscence start pushing this card forward. The overclock is used here by Reborn. Has to try to find at least one pick, but hasn't found anything just yet. MI7, however, a lot of damage being pumped into the system. Laura pops the Dragon Strike. Here comes the beat from Fungin. Laura dies, but at the cost of Glitch. Glitch now out of the picture means that Reminiscence are down to support. MI7 still finding the pick. Reborn's now out of the picture, and Sam is pushing forward, trying to find more. Anguish is now gone, and Reminiscence are back in the spawn room.
Reminiscence need to buy numbers of fights now. Their game plan has shifted. They're at a disadvantage in terms of DPS and tank ultimates. What they need to do is race, try, and glitch up to their ultimates, beat Fungin to that sound barrier that you know was used earlier on, and then use those to win the fight. It is not about the next 20 seconds. It is about the next 2 minutes for Reminiscence. They need to have a good long-term game plan if they want to win this, or find something clutch here. And might just be it!
Choice to 1, finds the crucial pick into Rocket. The bosom is there for Music Addicts, finds 2. The Terror Surge from Sam is also there to try and stabilize. Sam gets the javelin kill onto Anguish here, and all that's left is Choice to 1 and Glitch on the cart right now. Glitch will eventually fall here, but still, it was a very costly pick there from the side of MI7. Choice to 1, however, is still in this fight. Glitch looking for value, but now Reminiscence are backing out and ready to reset.
And notably, what I said is true. We're still 30% ahead for Glitch over top of Fungin. If they get that Kitsune Rush sound barrier, they layer both of them. It is game over. It is lights out for MI7. They've got to find another way through this. They need some sort of pick coming from the red side to win this thing.
It might not happen.
The sound barrier Kitsune Rush is nearly up. The time has nearly come. Kitsune Rush used early. Reminiscence storm forwards. Glitch the sound barrier to finish things off. And they need nothing more than what they showed up with to finish off the season.
Reminiscence! They get their revenge on MI7 for week 3, and they will take a bow as your 2-time Discord tier champions!
One of the best series I have gotten to witness in my time casting Tranquility with my god, Bowsy. You don't even remember when the beginning of that was an insane back and forth. A series that was never, ever over every map to the absolute brink. Reminiscence, though, what a turnaround following map number 5. A performance worthy of being champions. Infinite mental strength, the ability to stay in it for hours and keep the game going through the entire thing, never giving up, never surrendering, never faltering for a moment, always believing in their composition and their own mechanical capability. This is a team that knows what it's like to be at the top, that has the confidence to be at the top, and well deserves a second title.
Reminiscence, congratulations. What a performance here against MI7, showing that they were still willing to contend with the best, and they earned their right as in the exclusive club of now 3 Tranquility teams to earn 2 championships in their life cycle. What a performance from Reminiscence. But Door, at the end of the day, while all the dust is settled and Reminiscence walk away with another championship, there is a Grand Finals MVP to crown. And I think I have the honor in saying, both of us agree, it has to be Choi Soo-won on that tank.
Oh man, Choi Soo-won, dude, phenomenal the entire time. The whole hog charge rate was quite frankly ridiculous. And his capability to find that impact in the match is just insane.
Choi Soo-won definitely started popping off when it came to the second half of the series. They had a lot of great moments throughout the entirety of the series, but that second half, it just became clear Choi Soo-won was here to dominate. They were here to send this team down to the brinks and get Reminiscence a second championship, and this is a well-deserved championship indeed for Reminiscence, all thanks to your Grand Finals MVP, Choi Soo-hwan, living up to the title, being an absolute monster through all of Tranquility and winning the championship here for Reminiscence and getting them their second trophy as a team. What a performance from Choi Soo-hwan. What a performance from everybody on Reminiscence. It was close when it came to so many different players. It could have been Try, it could have been Lore, it could have been Reborn, it could have been anybody. But Choi Soo-hwan showed throughout the entire series that they were willing to contend, and they popped off when it mattered the most in all of it. So congratulations, Choi Soo-hwan, for winning the Discord tier North American Grand Finals MVP title.
Oh my god, dude. Insane series. And I again, I have to give an extremely special shout out to Try. If I had to name like the door player of the night, dude, I think it's the consistency for me. That was so impressive about that performance. Like, it wasn't just like, okay, one map, it wasn't half the series, it wasn't clutching out the back half. Try was like hard carrying for 7 maps straight, which is so incredibly hard to do. The fact that I can name the singular mistake that we saw out of Try in the entire match is quite frankly just ridiculous. Choi Soo-hwan, though, that back half comeback is largely due to the tank pressure he was able to put on. In Reminiscence absolutely deserved every bit of everything that they deserve. Take a look at what we did. Remember when we started out on Oasis? Remember when this thing looked like it might be quick? Yeah, no.
Yeah.
We played all 3 there. We played twice on Midtown. We played twice on Circuit Royale. We played Esperanza practically twice with that final push from MI7. Nepal was the quickest map we had, and it did look quick for Reminiscence. It spelled the comeback and what was to come. The hold on Eichenwald, I think, continued to foretell what was a dire story for MI7 after they got held up on point C. Dorado, the same thing with that hold on point B. From Reminiscence, you knew exactly what was coming. The knockout punch delivered.
Yeah, absolutely. Reminiscence did a really good job. It took a bit to get the gears rolling after that second map, but after that, it was all smooth sailing, and they went on to be able to get those last 3 map wins that they needed and be able to claim that championship. But that is it. The season of Tranquility is officially over now with our 3 champions in our North American tiers, the Decapitators, the Koala Kings, and now Reminiscence, and in our European tiers, Mythical Kitsune and Dino Nuggies taking it home throughout all of our divisions in Tranquility. But that is going to do it for us here today. I had the absolute privilege of working today with my fellow Codecaster Door, returning to Tranquility after a long stint in Contenders. We also were well accompanied by THC on the production. Hippie was our observer manager, and we had a handful of different observers helping us out here with Booth, Mountain Mango Mike, Nick, and Unfeatured, and MI Blizzard helping us out with our replay operations. Door, it has been an honor to work with you here today. It's been an honor to work with everybody through Tranquility throughout the entirety of Season 9. But that's going to do it for us here tonight. For everybody I just mentioned and everybody in Tranquility helping make this community a welcoming place for all, my name has been Bowsy. Until we meet again, we hope you have an amazing night, an amazing holiday, an amazing rest of your 2022, and we will see you in 2023 for All Stars and Season 10.